drinking a tiny cup of coffee.
Makes you feel like a big man.
Big man. Is that, yeah, is it, have I just grown overnight, or is this actually
Nick's drinking an espresso, and as you can imagine, listeners, there's a lot of laughs to be had.
I'm
there.
wired, man.
This must be the worst like pre-intro we've ever done.
Let's go back to our original one then. Alien strip poker.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh.
Stop suggesting it every week. Welcome to the 3T RPG podcast where no one can hear you scream. My name is Harrison Ripley and with me is Nickley Scott.
Very good.
You like that?
Very good.
This is a tabletop RPG podcast and today we're going to do all the usual stuff. We're going to do news. We're going to talk about games we've been playing. And of course the main subject is going to be the Alien RPG. And then we'll end the pod with your questions.
Oh, yes.
Did you watch that video? The one, have you seen Alien? So good. That guy's like my spirit animal.
Is he like is it like a hidden cam reaction dude? Like,
yeah, he does a lot of this.
So screaming his morph suit.
People will know him as, he's just called Pink Guy. Mm-hmm. But he's a Japanese bloke, and his stuff is like really weird. He'll just go into like supermarkets and scream and say weird stuff. And I wasn't doing any research for this episode, but I was looking on YouTube and I found one of him just sitting next to a guy, and he keeps shouting at him, "Have you seen Alien? Please!" So brilliant. I'm going to use that as the jingle.
Genius.
Yeah. He's doing what we all need to hear.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you seen Alien?
Have you seen Alien?
And the answer is no.
No, yeah. What?
I actually have never seen the film.
You're joking?
No. Yes, I am. Sorry. Right, let's do some feedback.
The feedback side. The feedback side. Yes, bitch, the feedback side. It's the feedback section.
Yeah, we take your comments and read them out. Yeah, feedback, bitch.
So G Veltum, he says, he was talking about our actual play that we released recently. He sent us an email and he says, "Gents, this is the episode." Nope. Gents, this episode is the kind of quality content that had made the 3T podcast my 7th favourite show on the internet. Bravo and keep it coming.
Well, it's good to know that we...
Well, that's, unless we're first, don't listen.
Well, I see. So it's all or nothing.
That's because this, I feel like I'm being cheated on.
7.
Who were the other 7?
Yeah.
Imagine if above it was like boring, like something about accountancy.
Oh my God. Like, what, Accountants Weekly?
And it's like, actually, there's a loophole where you can pay 12.1% tax.
There's a new function on Excel.
It's really changed the world, boys.
It's black magic.
As far as functions go, we haven't seen something like this since 1985.
I mean, move over AutoSum.
Move over AutoSum. There's a new kid in town.
What's number 2? Like, I don't know, cooking with Aunt May.
Yeah, no, it'll be a cooking show where it'll be a vegan cooking show. Ooh, that's what it'll be.
Okay.
It'll be like all about episode 1, kale and the various uses.
These carrots have been chopped humanely.
We did hear one of them scream, but I can assure you we sent it to the emergency room. Actually, I was in the pub once with this idiot that James knows, and he was trying to tell me once. He was like, "Yeah, you can't eat a tomato if you're a vegan," and I was like, "Why?" And then he's like, "Because they've got a nervous system." People have actually recorded them screaming when they're getting cut in half. It's like he actually thought tomatoes were alive. And do you know what he shared with me was an article from The Onion. And obviously he didn't know. Yeah, and he was like, "Read that! They're fucking alive, man!"
I mean, I've seen mushrooms that are like musical, right? You've seen that when they put the things on and get some.
I have, but I think it's only like it's electrical impulses.
Yes.
It's like mushroom playing a keyboard or whatever.
And they put a load of beats behind it and stuff.
It's good. It's good stuff.
It's quite fun.
But mushrooms, possibly sentient. Tomatoes,
definitely not. No, they're shite. Mushrooms, I mean, like. Yeah, mushrooms are fascinating. They're not animal, they're not plant, they're somewhere in between, right?
Yeah, and they're sort of...
We both watched that mushroom film.
Which one?
That one on Netflix.
I haven't watched a mushroom film.
What?
What mushroom?
Actually, I fell asleep watching it. It's very good though. Yeah, go to Netflix and watch the mushroom film.
Is it just called The Mushroom Film?
No, I don't think it's that crude. I think it's
because I think it would be kind of helpful if I had the title of the.
Yeah,
if I type in The Mushroom Film,
I should probably find that, shouldn't I? Well, what we need to know, Harrison, is how do we get to number 1?
I don't know. Can G Velton? Can you send us?
We want the list. We want the top 10. We want the top 10.
I'm sure about 4 of them are like the McElroy family, and then he's got accountancy pod on there. He's got cooking with Aunt May.
We need to know the others. We need to know what the rest of the right. So it's called Fantastic Fungi, of course.
Okay.
And it's a documentary. It's an hour and 21 minutes.
It's a documentary, A Day in the Life of a Mushroom. It's got like a talking head bit with a mushroom just sitting there.
Hello!
And then a guy, I wasn't suggesting that it spoke. The guy just sort of, when it cuts to the reaction of the documentary maker nodding. That must have been hard. And it's like plugged into a synth and it's going... Actually, that reminds me, and sorry to go off a tangent again, I bought my speaker to the game the other day, and my brother, while I was outside having a cigarette, my brother took my phone to the toilet and put on loads of weird noises. I didn't realise what was happening. I thought I dropped my phone somewhere, and he put on this thing. I later found that he typed in loud jarring noise, and it was this thing that just went, but gradually, and by the end of it, it was like... And it was like so loud, and
hellish.
And we were trying to turn it down on the speaker, and Sean was in the other room trying to turn it back up, and it was like loads of weird shit kept coming on. Good times. But anyway, if whoever's above us, stop listening to them.
Yeah.
Vodrilus, he says, RE cheating, as we spoke about cheating in the last pod. He says, my favourite cheat is to conveniently forget inconvenient effects that have negative modifiers. Unfortunately, I do also keep forgetting buffs and situational bonuses. Ooh. It got so bad at one point that I'm only as honest as I'm physically capable became my catchphrase. A season of terrible sleep had something to do with it, i.e. I blame the baby.
Fair enough.
Which baby? Probably his one.
But hopefully his one, yeah. That's fine though,
We do that all the time. Like, I mean, how many times have you got a Joker in Savage Worlds? In Savage Worlds you have initiative cards. And if you get a Joker, you get +2 to all actions from that round. And how many times have you got to the next round and been like, I forgot to add the +2? And it's
all the time. All the time.
So it's understandable that it goes the other way too.
I do love the I'm only as honest as I'm physically capable line.
Well, that's true. If he doesn't remember...
Well, what do you want from me?
It's not really cheating.
And the thing is, if he's forgetting the buses and the negative buffs, then, it's pretty balanced.
It's fine.
Pretty balanced.
But also, if you're... I guess what we're saying here is if you are stupid enough not to remember
that's the
rules...
That is the bottom line, isn't it?
Then you can get away with cheating. So what you need to do is just give yourself concussion.
There you go.
That's a cheat.
And then you're laughing. I mean, but no, players, come on. It's not the GM's job to remind you every time that you've got a +2 to fight in because of X, Y, and Z. It's down to you, mate.
I hate it when people forget that they've got like a feat or an edge.
And get mad at the GM.
And they're like, oh, wait, can I redo my turn?
No.
It's your fucking edge, it's not my edge.
You wrote it down, so you picked it.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that all the time, but it's what it is if you don't forget.
But sometimes what I like to do is remind people of the negative modifiers. Like not when I'm a GM, but in Sean's game when he was running Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we very often Sean would be like, okay, you've got a -2 because we're in the dark. The player would like roll, and I'd be like, oh, don't forget the -2, mate. And then I'd just get like a frown from across the table.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks very much. Lassie, he says a common cheat is not removing magic arrows or potions when used. Ooh, and we did talk about like not removing ammo, but he says everlasting quiver is a meme at this point. It's like you just always have
everyone's got an everlasting quiver.
I find it, I do like to track ammo in games, but I always find it bloody annoying. Because it always gets to the point because people just don't want to tick off an arrow every time.
Unless it's like a huge part of the game, like an apocalyptic.
Then you have to.
Apocalyptic. If it's a Papadopoulos game, it makes it interesting because obviously it's a huge element that ammo's.
But then it's different in those types of games because you typically have a lot less. So it'd be like you've got 3 bullets.
Yeah,
that's much easier to track.
That's right.
But I sometimes find like. Well, I kind of wanted to have it so that in some games I might track it by giving you little bullet counters or something like this.
Yeah.
But then it's like you've got bennies on the table, minis, maps, bullet counters.
Condition counters.
Yeah, exactly, right? And it's just like, I can't be bothered. So I was thinking maybe what another good system might be in a game where you have to keep track of ammo is just there's a standard restocking fee once you get back to town.
Yeah.
And you have to pay that, otherwise on your next mission you won't have any bullets.
That's quite
Something
cool.
like that.
Well, what about if you had like a communal pot of ammo, if you're a party, right? And it was represented on the table by just a bowl with beads in it, and you could say like one bead is a clip, let's say, and then you take it out the pot, put it in your gun and spend it, and then it gets taken away, and that pot gets smaller and smaller, and that's your like mixed ammo pot.
And then to refill it, you have to pay $200.
Pay money to refill it. Yeah,
that's a very good idea.
That's quite interesting.
I'm going to do that.
Yes, try it out.
That's genius.
Because then you'll have like it might invoke ammo conversations. You know, you can hit him. Don't waste the bullet.
Yeah, or if there's a player that's got a D4 in shooting, you just shoot them a look and like don't take a
don't even
bullet.
think about
it. Yeah. Or as a character, if it was your old gunslinger from Pathfinder, people would be like, leave the bullet.
Let Rose have it.
Well, because your character, he always tried to do gun tricks, but failed every time.
They were so bad. That was it. I'll never forget the whip.
Yeah. Oh, that was brilliant. Yeah, one of Nick's first ever moves in an RPG was that he was trying to be cool. He walks into a bar and he's like, I'm going to use my whip to sort of lasso a pint glass towards me.
That was it.
He smashes it, the glass smashes onto the floor, and the landlord's just like, looks at him and just goes, don't do that again.
Don't do that again, mate. What are you doing?
What are you playing at?
I miss that guy.
So do I. Well, that is it for feedback. Shall we get into some news?
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, yeah. News punch. Are you looking at the news? Yeah. The Rogue of Space 2 has been announced.
Oh,
a telepathic calling. Have you? And can you see the artwork there, Nick?
Yes. Oh, yes.
It's good shit, right? Describe it.
So on the left, it looks like
Venom.
Black Panther or Venom?
Yeah, Black Panther, that's it.
And on the right, it's like an elven type person, I'm guessing, with a kind of crude haircut and ears. What are they looking at?
They're looking at each other, but I feel as if...
What's behind them? Oh, it's like a little... Oh, it's a loading bay.
Yeah, so the episode is going to be called A Telepathic Calling. Now, for those that don't know, Rogue of Space, it's become our favourite thing in the world, and it's a really terrible set of sci-fi novellas written by a bloke on the internet who charges £2.99 for 9 pages.
Yeah.
And the next one's coming out.
Shrewd businessman.
And he's coming out on 4/20.
Hello,
so 20th of
blaze it.
April.
Yeah. Sorry, we have to decipher the American way of putting the date.
Yeah, so it's going to be amazing. Now, he's also been releasing like stuff on his YouTube channel of him drawing planets. He released a little intro where he goes, "The Rogue of Space," and it's really weird because none of this artwork, and he spends a lot of time doing this really crap artwork. None of it appears in the book.
What?
So what is the point? He's doing more artwork and creating intros. He's waiting 3 months for the next 9-page story. If he just sat down and wrote it, he could have it out by this weekend.
Mate, it could be an Amazon. He should come work for us.
Yeah. Well, in what capacity? Doing our artwork?
Creative controller. Shall we get him on?
No. All right, the next bit of news is that the Honey Heist designer is making a Mork Borg RPG.
Ooh.
Which should be good. So Grant Howitt, the creator behind Honey Heist, has decided, like many small press publishers, to jump on the ridiculously dark RPG train that followed Mork Borg's success. His new Bork is going to be called Orkborg. And it's instead of a one-pager, it's going to be a full RPG. And basically, because of Mork Borg's very open third-party license, Grant's creating his own Gondor interpretation of Mork Borg, where you play orcs on a spaceship called the Derelict.
Ooh.
Which he describes as a great big beautiful trash rocket.
Yes.
Yep.
How have I not thought of Orkborg before?
I know.
That's
what
so
I thought.
annoying.
I thought of one, Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the orcs in this game worship chaos and destruction.
Yes.
So they're actually flying about looking for the end of the world, basically spreading chaos in the hopes that they can go to the everlasting stench pits of the afterlife.
Oh, mate.
Which is awesome. And I'm sure this will be explained in the book, but for some reason, actually playing the game is more about goings on in the Derelict as opposed to space exploration.
Yes.
As the ship is so big that it's got like bad postcodes on it, where you're like, you don't want to go down the southwest.
Do you know the vibe I'm getting? I'm getting some serious Warhammer Orc vibes. You know, like they're, you know, the actual tabletop game.
Yeah,
40K, yeah. You know, with all their like clanky armor and ships and stuff.
Well, that was actually one of the main inspirations.
That's the vibe I'm getting,
yeah, exactly. You're about right. And the game system is basically going to be Morg Borg. The setting is sort of the main thing. Yeah. But what's awesome, right? They released a preview page from the book, and we can see that the book will likely take place in the same universe as Morg Borg, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a very similar one. But it's going to add space cults, cybernetics, and mechs.
Yes.
And the mechs have amazing names. Here's some examples. Bang 10,000, Massive Problem, Rust Bitch.
Oh, this is so 40k.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's very good. And you've all got to have that faux Cockney accent as well, like they do.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
It's like the orcs from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. It's like, we got ourselves a lovely snack. But yeah, Grant Howitt, he states that he wants it to be a pick up and play game, however, and the setting is going to be really, really nuanced. But to me, that says it's going to be difficult to pick up and play. However, what he has stated is that you're going to be able to use any existing maps, minis, and whatnot you already have to cut down on prep time. So that Fantasy Mansion map or that pirate ship, there'll be a location on the derelict like that.
Yes.
So it's like that fucking big.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I think it's going to be fucking good. And
Me too, mate.
He's only done good stuff, that guy.
Mate, Honey Heist was a fucking laugh, wasn't it?
And he did, what was it, Sex Space Wizards? Or
oh, yeah, and the other one.
The skeleton one.
The skeleton one, the car one. Yeah, you're really good.
So I think I'm looking forward to this. The only trouble is that it's going to be a Kickstarter in the next couple of months. So we probably won't see it for bloody ages. But I just thought it was worth mentioning because it sounds fucking great.
Absolutely.
And the artwork looks really nice for it. So yeah, go and check out Orkborg.
I'm checking that out, mate. That sounds really fun.
But that is it for news.
Oh, do you want to just mention one more thing? Didn't you see the Mork Ball minis?
No. Oh, yes. Yeah. So that's another bit of news. Mork Borg are releasing minis.
And they're bigger than normal.
Yeah, so they're 35mm scale.
Okay.
So if you 35mm is the length of the average
penis
of the listeners of the show. Yeah. But no, they're slightly bigger, but the detail is amazing.
Yeah.
It's difficult to sort of get across on this show because it's audio. Mm-hmm. But Nick, make a noise that sort of sums up what they look like.
Okay then.
So if you can imagine that, right, but as a miniature,
that's what you're getting.
That's what you're getting. And
nice.
It's going to be amazing.
Yep.
That's it for news. Should we get on to what we've been slaying?
Okay.
And one of these.
Oi, yeah.
What you slaying?
So I've been playing. I don't know if you know this. There's a small indie designer called Gary Gygax.
Oh, little guy.
No, I'm just gonna. I'll make this joke every episode.
Little Gaza.
Oh, Gaza.
Gaza there.
He's gone and made Dungeons and Dragons, mate. That's a joke for people who know Paul Gascoigne is. Going down the fucking mine, man. Gonna slay some goblins. Like. All up the country. So, yeah, we've been playing D&D, Storm King's Thunder. Now, I've got a little bit of a gripe here.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
so the whole plot of this this adventure is essentially what
Is this the intro adventure for D&D?
No, that's Lost Mines of Fandelver.
Okay, so this is... Oh, yeah, no, this
is like one of the other modules.
But it's a pre-published
Yes,
thing.
Yeah. And do you know, like... So the plot is we go to this town looking for work. It's been smashed up by giants.
Yeah.
We then have to go to this other city called Bryn Shander, which is like right up north in a place called Icewind Dale. Mm-hmm. We have to go there, and then the city gets under attack by giants. We fend them off for this particular one. They're looking for this special ring.
And you don't know, yeah.
We don't know what it is. Don't know what it is, yeah. We fend them off, and then suddenly, work comes flooding in. Mm-hmm. People have seen us do it. And while we're doing these little side quests, the main quest is to go and get that ring they were after and bring it back and hopefully solve things.
Shut the giants up, yeah.
Yeah, and so I know the GM doesn't listen to this, so I'm just gonna have a little moan here, right? He says every week when he turns up, he goes, I haven't done much prep this time, and that's fine because I don't do much prep anymore. No. I'm the type of person now, if I can fit it on one page, that's perfect.
That's it, exactly that.
And so he turns up every week, says that, right? But every episode's been an absolute fucking belter.
Yes.
So we've been like slaying giants. Even the travelling up there was cool. We had encounters. We've done a goblin cave. Like it's been a lot of fun. But then it ends up. So the last 2 sessions, he's had to actually read the book while he's at the table, the module book. Right. So he doesn't even have an idea of what's going on next, even in his head.
Yeah.
So the last 2 sessions, he turned up late. Mm-hmm. We tried to sell a horn that we found.
Yeah.
Failed, and that was the 3-hour session that we played. We ended early, right, as well. He was like, right, guys, well, that's a good time to wrap, because he hasn't got anything prepared.
Oh, right, okay.
The last session...
Where did we go next? I don't know.
Did you... so I shared on Facebook, I made a little map, because we took on so many bloody side quests.
It was awesome.
So I made a map of, like, the route we were taking and what we were doing each stop.
Yeah, because it's a little bit. You've got a few things going on.
Yes,
got a few things on at the moment.
So we had to go to this nearby town, deliver a message for reinforcements. We had to get a boat down to Waterdeep. That was it, to get the ring. Then head back all the way back. But anyway,
about 5 stops, if I remember rightly.
Yes,
around the map. Yeah.
Exactly. So we did one, and that was that we went to the next town over and delivered a message.
Oh, so you didn't get to Waterdeep then?
Not even close. we maybe did about 3% of what we were supposed to do.
Okay.
It got to 10 o'clock. Right. I've just
heavy on the role play.
But it has to. That's the trouble. What's happening is, right, you'll go, oh yeah, I need to read the book quickly, and we'll just be in character, just chatting as our wagon is going on, and it's fun. But I'm worried that this is going to go on for bloody ever.
Years.
Yeah, and like last session, we're excited to get to the town, get the ring, and see why the Giants won it, right? But the thing is, the GM doesn't know why the Giants won it, because he hasn't read the module, so he doesn't want to. He obviously doesn't want to, bullshit something and ruin the entire adventure.
Yeah.
So instead, he turned up half an hour late, and we ended 1 hour early. So it's 2.5 hours of bloody gaming, half of which was shopping, the other half was. Literally an encounter where we tried to buy a sheet to put over our wagon. That took half an hour.
See, I probably would have let you guys do what you want, freestyled it, read the book after that session, then refer back and see if I can then change it
put it
around
into the
to
things.
work.
Because you don't want to have a shit night of game. I mean, as well, it would have been simple enough.
Just have a couple of encounter cards on you, and then you can do anything. Because you can ping an encounter in anywhere.
Even if it was just as we travel on the boat. I thought he was going to have something for that, like you get attacked by a big octopus.
Surely
that would be fine. And like Ace on our Discord, he was saying recently that like if he can't be bothered or he hasn't had the time to do prep, what he'll do is he'll go, okay, guys, I know we've got this main mission, but for tonight, we're just going to do a simple dungeon delve.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, totally, mate. I blew Rye's mind when he said, oh, it must took you ages to prep Destiny. I said, no, I prepped the absolute skeleton and everything else was freestyled each episode because lot was so interactive and so you knew what you wanted to do, so I left it open to you lot, and he was like, "What? You didn't? A lot of that was made up on the spot." I said, "Yeah, that's the beauty of it."
But that's the same thing as well, like because I did it with Solomon Kane.
Yeah, that's right.
I had the 5 beats of the story just written down as a sentence.
There you go,
and that was it.
The blueprint. Yeah,
and then the rest of it you fill in as you go, and the players. But at the moment, the story's it's just all us doing.
But have you guys given the GM nuggets to work with as well?
Well, I like to think so, but
because normally you'll get at least a little bit of a backstory pop up or some sort of connection with what you lot have done.
Well, sort of the biggest thing that happened in the last couple of games was that I got a new spell called Shatter, and we went and we were trying to sell this horn, and I tried to convince him that it was an old war relic so we could get more money. And I thought Shatter was like the old school D&D one, which I think just shatters a non-magical item.
Right.
So the guy's going to put his glasses on, and I'm a bard, so I had to sing it, and I went Shatter like under my breath.
Singing sword,
yeah. And I didn't, and I was just reading the spell. The GM's like, so okay, well, what does that do? And I'm like, I think it shatters a non-magical item. Let me look it up. Every non-magical item in the radius shatters, and anyone caught in the radius takes 3d6 lightning damage.
Wowzers.
I was like,
whoops,
goodbye.
So why was someone sleeping on a roof?
Oh, well, that's Sergarth. He's a tiefling. They sleep on roofs.
Oh, okay, that's his thing.
Yeah. Well, because he's half demon, basically. But yeah, I've got to be honest. So we've actually got to the point now because I don't know what to say to him because I don't know if he thinks we don't know that he's not done the I don't know what to do because I'm like, okay,
Well, just get a gauge on it then. Just say maybe next game. Just say like. What you reckon we're talking episode wise?
Yes, that's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? And then at least then if the GM's like, well, probably about 18,
and I'd be like, okay, shut up, just throw his bag out the door. The thing is, it was really good up until the last 2 episodes, and my brother rightly pointed out we were discussing it in the pub the other day, and he said, do you remember when you ran Cyberpunk and you had a newborn? I was like, well, exactly, right? His problem is that he's got his annoying girlfriend hanging about. Right. But you've got to find, just read the module. You don't have to get it exactly right. But yeah, we basically, I petitioned the group. So what we're going to do is that we're going to see the next session, see what happens.
If it's
another one, then we're going to allow it off. Because the thing is, we only play once a week, and I really like to get the most out of it. Yeah. Starting at 7:30 and finishing at 10 is rubbish.
Yeah, I mean, we used to do 7 to 11.
Yeah,
even then we'd normally be like, oh shit, is it 11 already?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm a little bit gutted at the moment.
Oh, that's a shame, because it's a great party and obviously a very capable GM, as we know. And
yeah,
it sounds like a really good game. It's just just a bit more prep then, I guess.
Well, or just be more up for winging parts of the story. Yeah, because
but he's a bit of a perfectionist, though.
That's the trouble. Yeah, because I think you're absolutely right.
Which is fine.
Yeah, but it's like at the end of the day, finishing at 10, all he could have done, he could have just read the next paragraph and gone, right, take 5. Then we'll play the last 55 minutes.
What do you lot want to do?
Yeah, exactly. But then it would just get me. I mean, it was stupid. But anyway, never mind. We also played the Alien RPG, but obviously we're going to talk about that in the main subject. So Nick, I bought the new Deadlands.
Yeah, you did.
Now I'm going to just pass the box over to you, and you can
from your FLG.
Yeah, it's from the Fulg, man. I got it from the Fulg.
It's all. I thought I bought Deadlands.
You bought one of the 4 versions of it. So
what's this then?
So this is the new one. As you know, like Savage Worlds got upgraded to Adventure Edition, right?
Of course, yeah.
And so this is the new Adventure Edition version, where instead of focusing on, for those that don't know, it's a weird Old West setting. So it's got, steampunk and magic in the Old West.
Ghost Rock.
So the thing is, what they're doing with this one, instead of focusing on big grand plots, it's supposed to be about personal horror.
Okay, all right.
And honestly, the new book, you remember when Savage Worlds Adventure Edition came out and we said, it was the treatment that Savage Worlds deserved. Like, it now looked like a proper product.
Absolutely.
They've done the same with this new Deadlands. Yeah, however, I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed with the box set, right? Now, I'm just going to, what comes with it is very nice. So you get
These are nice, little character cards.
Yes. You get character cards, the book, a map of the US, and...
wound tracker, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's an ammo tracker.
Ammo tracker, bennies.
Dice, and
nice,
small adventure. So, thing is, there's some other bits, but I'll talk about them in a second, right? I'm just looking at... How much do you reckon it cost?
Oh, well, I know Pinnacle, mate, so probably I'm going to... It's got to be over 50 quid.
See, that was sort of the range I was thinking it would be.
Yeah.
It's 100 quid. However, there is a reason I bought it despite that, is because I remember I've got 2 of their other box sets, right? I've got the ETU one and I've got the Rippers one.
Yeah.
And they come with the core book.
And didn't you get Black Edition box set as well?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I did. No,
no, Savage Worlds Adventure Edition.
Yeah,
I did. I got that. But yeah, in the ETU one, right? Mm-hmm. You get the core book, a player's book, a campaign book, 2 double-sided, huge, dry erase maps.
Yeah.
Dice, bennies. Like you just get so much shit in there.
Yeah.
And in this one, it's like they've really cheaped out, and it cost more.
Did they kickstart this?
Yeah, they did, and that was why I bought it, because I didn't get on the Kickstarter at the time, and I kind of wanted it, but and it comes with a GM screen too. But I don't know, it just seems like they've done less for more money. But the product quality is higher, but like still you get a lot less.
Then, I guess.
Yeah.
What do Pinnacle ever make products without kickstarting them now?
No.
Why?
Well, good point. I mean, they can afford to, but the thing is, I like it.
I like it.
But they had both core books and the GM screen in stock, and I think I should have just got those, because I've already got bennies and things like this.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know. It was just I was a little bit disappointed by how much came into it, and like the bit that annoyed me, because I think all the stuff I mentioned so far is worth it and very nice.
Yeah.
But the bit annoyed me was that they've got new cards, right? So new adventure cards, and these are like, situational cards that you can play during the game to gain bonuses or a special effect. Now, in the old ones, like the Rippers one, they gave you 2 action decks, so decks of cards, right?
Yes, of course, none.
And in this one, you get adventure cards, but you get 5 new cards that you add to your previous existing adventure deck. So they are these ones.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there
and you load them straight into your existing adventure deck.
Right, and then there's
the
gear cards in there for the infernal devices that you get in Deadlands. But there's only 10 or so things, and the gear cards, if you recall correctly, they were only a PDF thing anyway.
Yeah.
So you've just got a deck of 11 cards. And it's like, well, what use is that?
Yeah.
And the adventure cards, it's like, why not make a Deadlands specific one that you have in the box?
That'd be nice.
Because what if you only bought Suede Core and then you just get this and it's like, 5 adventure cards, and you're just using those same 5 fucking ones every single time.
It's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. It's this. I'm lucky that I already have the big Suede box, because I think with this added to it as like a bolt on, it's pretty nice.
It is nice.
But I
know what you mean.
They used to do it so that you got like a plot point campaign in the box as well, like a big campaign book. But that was now a separate box set, so it's called like the Scary Area or something like this, and it's like that, and then you get the adventure pre-gens, things like this. But it's like that would usually be the same product, and this one was more expensive and had less in it.
So financially, they're going down the wrong road.
Yeah, for me,
seems a bit like that.
Yeah,
well, considering these are the guys that gave you a full core rule book for like 12 quid.
Yeah.
And that's all you needed to play their game, which was amazing.
Yeah. So I do like the look of the new Deadlands, and I think it looks cool. I've read a bit of it, and it seems like what they've done is they've streamlined it and made it a lot more lowish fantasy type.
Okay,
Deadlands.
good. Yeah.
So I'm up for it. But
it's a cool setting. We know it.
I just wish the set was a little bit better.
Yeah.
I still like the things that come with it, but £100 for that. I feel
100 sterling as well. So what's that? And it's got to be about $125, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. So I've got deep sadness.
That's a fair bit of wedge, mate.
And you know what? As well, I pay the price every time I go to my friendly local game store, because the woman talks to me for about an hour.
Yeah.
And it was the same this time. She started telling me about a bloody Pokemon card tournament, and I'm like, why are you saying this? I just want to buy a fucking present for my brother. So that was why I was in there, and then I saw this and I bought it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so a bit disappointing. I've also wanted to just tell you a quick story. So recently, my brother and I went to Heart of Gaming. Now this is like only peripherally related, because it was his birthday, so we went out to this gaming arcade where they brought up all the old arcades from like Japan, the Trocadero, things like this.
Yeah.
And repaired them, so it was pretty awesome. And we spent the day. We played like Point Blank. They had Street Fighter Rainbow Edition, which was like a hacked version that was quite popular in the 90s. Like loads of weird, obscure arcades. But do you know the racing game Daytona USA?
Oh, Daytona!
Yeah. So the last thing we did, right, we was playing that, and they had 8 machines linked up.
Nice.
Just as my brother and I are about to walk off and leave, we see this couple like out on a date, 25 or so, right?
Yeah.
And they're sitting down. I'm not sure. Let's wait for them to finish their race, and then we'll get on the next one. We sat like 4 arcades over, and we'll just fuck them up. And we got on it, right? And they'd swapped seats because the bloke was blaming his
steering
cabinet.
Yes.
So they'd swapped seats, and he was already
angry. Roll with this one.
We managed to. So the girl was quite good, and she was level with us for most of the race. By the end of the race, I'd lapped the bloke and then cunted him up a wall. And his car flew up the wall. He was absolutely raging. Started hitting the fucking steering wheel, and he was like, "Fuck's sake!"
Oh no!
And the both of them rage quit as soon as the race was over.
Oh no!
And it was funny. We got outside, and Sean was like, he was like, "I feel like that was a good cap to the day," and I was like, "What, ruining that new couple's
mission
date?"
accomplished. Yeah. Absolutely.
We were just like, it was so funny, man. It was brilliant. And we were like drinking beers as we were playing as well. So
where's that, Croydon?
Yeah. So it's in the Whitgift Centre.
That's the one.
So if you're in the UK, go and visit it, because it used to be in a really shitty part of Croydon.
Yeah.
Well, part of the same mall, but now it's got like the polish it deserves, and it's got loads of really obscure games. They've got all the Time Crises, House of the Dead.
Yes.
Well, they've got 1 through 4 as well, which is awesome.
Wow.
I very
Number
rarely
2
see
was
4.
amazing. Yeah.
They've got, I don't know if you remember, it's called like Wave something, but it's like a game where you 2 people sit in a kayak and try and steer a kayak. Yeah, classic stuff. Yeah, it was awesome. It's not related to RPGs, but I just wanted to tell that story about how I destroyed a person's life.
That's fine. Ruined a date. Yeah, that's brilliant.
All right, well, that is it pretty much for what we've been slaying. Ooh. Shall we do a main subject?
Yeah, sure.
I know there was a couple of other things on the list, but I decided to skip them.
Okay.
Because they're a little bit boring.
Well, okay.
Okay.
You sure you don't want to tell everybody about your Switch game?
No, that's all right.
All right.
It'd be boring.
All right, fine.
I realise that. All right.
Name. Subject.
Have you seen an alien, please? Have you seen a ship? Please! Please!
Alien. A film so scary, your shit will shit its pants. Nobody can hear you scream.
I went a bit sore there.
Hello. Hello, Xenomorph. Nobody. I'd like to play the game. You're on a ship where everybody's screaming. It's the Alien RPG. But no one can hear you scream. You'll feel a bit like Batman. Now we're moving over to Batman. Batman, it's your turn. My parents are dead. Why am I... Why do I act like a bat?
So, what would you like to do with your move there, Batman?
My parents are dead. Got a score to settle with the Joker.
And then the Joker's 2 seats over. He's like, can we just drop it?
Yeah, fucking hell, we made up.
Let's just play the bloody RPG.
Yeah,
Let's have fun. So, yeah, Alien. It's a good film,
Yeah, it's a
right?
good film.
And if you haven't seen it, it's a good film.
Well, it's a franchise. I would recommend 1 and 2 are definite watches.
I think Alien Resurrection is very good, but for different
Bit
reasons.
weird, yeah. An Alien yeah. Definitely watch 1 and 2. I mean, it's one of them few. You know, right? There's a few films where they say that the sequel outrates the original, and there's not many, but I would say Aliens number 2 is a good runner for that, and also obviously Terminator 2. Much better than Terminator 1. No two ways about it.
Well, I'm not a big Terminator fan, but I will say Alien and Aliens, I think, are as good as each other.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing about it is like, Aliens is a very different film. Because the trouble is, when you've seen the monster, that's when it gets less scary.
That's true, yeah.
So they just went, well, you've seen the monster, so let's make an action
Let's
film.
get some Marines in there, yeah.
It's
exactly.
really good. So yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about the Alien RPG today, and what is kind of cool, Nick, is I've got my own little list here.
Good.
Of alien facts.
Oh, okay,
so,
good.
I'm going to interrupt every so often with some brilliant alien facts that I've researched from the internet. But yeah, so the Alien films, for those that don't know, originally made by Ridley Scott in 19-something.
81, maybe?
Something like that.
82, something like that. Early 80s.
And it's all about a sort of the crew of a spaceship called the Nostromo, and it goes wrong. Right now, I don't mean to spoil this, but an alien happens. It gets on board, and he's really annoyed. So, but I mean, most people know about it. So, Modifius, their recent thing is picking up good licensed things and making RPGs. That's right. Alien being one of them. And we haven't really done any prep, so we're just going to sort of chat about it, and I'm going to ask you questions.
Sure.
So the first one: what do you do in Alien RPG, and what types of character do you play?
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good question. So there's it's quite a broad game. So if you want to run the Alien film, you absolutely can. There's tools for that, but also you can run all sorts of things. You could be a platoon of Marines, you could be some civilians, that you could be like space truckers, like transporting shit through the galaxy.
So do we? So is it like? So it's actually quite open. It's not always set on a spaceship.
No, it's not always a set on a spaceship, and it's just a bunch of space truckers stuck on a spaceship with an alien. There's all sorts of stuff. You can play missions on stars, on colonies.
Well, I suppose Aliens is on a planet, isn't it?
Yeah. So Aliens is when they go to a mining colony that's like right out in the outer veil.
That's right.
And obviously, the big corporations from Earth, your Yutani, what's it called?
Wayland
Yutani, and there's loads. I mean, obviously, you get all the information about all the big corps, but they go to planets looking for materials, minerals, all this kind of stuff like mining.
Well, because I heard it once put. Now this is pretty interesting. This isn't one of my facts, but apparently with haunted house movies. And Alien is essentially a haunted house movie, but the house is a spaceship. But apparently there's always, in all those films, there's always a sin, right? So I can't remember what it is in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but in Alien the sin is greed.
Right,
Wayland Yutani, it's like the greed outweighs being sensible in any way whatsoever.
And that's why it all goes wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
It's like, the reason Aliens went so bad for those people is because they went there in the first place.
Exactly.
But the corporation wanted it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're very, very good films. And so in the game, you could play civilians, Marines, you could play
scientists, space truckers. You could be rebels. Do you know what I mean?
But it's typically supposed to be horror.
Well, again, it depends what type of horror you can as well. So the book goes into detail as well, and it says, what type of horror experience you're looking for. Are you looking for like a more sci-fi kind of, like you said, when you don't know where the monster is and the whole thing is building up the tension, or is it that you already know the aliens there and you're going in like a squad going in to wipe them out, exterminate them, and you can kind of play it however you want to play it. So that's the beauty of it, is that it goes into the different types of horror and sci-fi, and it's obviously whatever you're kind of looking for. But then also you have obviously your two types of game.
Yeah, so you told me that there's a cinematic game and a campaign game.
Campaign play and cinematic play.
We'll get into that, but first, so that we can talk about how it affects the mechanics. What are the mechanics of the Alien RPG? How is the game basically played? And then we'll get into the different modes of play.
Okay, yeah. So mechanic wise, nice and simple. If anyone's played Mutant Year Zero, it's exactly the same thing. So you have a pool of D6s, depending on what you're like. So you add your skill and your ability together, and then say that's 5. You'd roll 5 dice. Any 6s is a success. Great. If you're rolling stress dice, which you pick up stress as you play, if you get a 1 on them, then you have to roll on stress table.
So it sort of simulates like adrenaline, because it's like you're more likely to succeed, but you're also more likely to get a negative effect, because if you roll a 1 on the stress dice, you can get a bunch of different effects.
Yeah, exactly that. So if you get a 1 on any of your stress dice when you roll for a normal roll, you can still, sometimes the action that you're doing will still succeed, but you must roll on the panic table first. Well, no, so yeah, you roll a d6, add your current stress level. So if you've got 2 in stress, and then you roll d6 and you get, let's say, 4 plus the 2, that's 6, you're fine. Anything over 6, the table starts doing stuff to you.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, so it's like it will still count as a success, isn't it? Or but like you do it, but you're panicking as you're doing it. So if you're like trying to operate the computer, you're just like
yeah, exactly.
That was me typing,
and it really emulates the kind of building up the tension, and it's called it like so in Alien, and much like Mutant Year Zero, you can push a roll. So if you don't succeed on a roll, anything that didn't come up a 1 or a 6, you can roll again. And also you can obviously succeed and still push if you want to do better. But the thing is with Alien, which wasn't the same in Mutant, when you push a roll, no matter what, you take stress. Take 1 stress every time.
Well, in Mutant Year Zero, wasn't it? Do you take a damage or something?
Might have been, actually.
I can't remember.
Yeah, come to think of it, yeah,
something like that. But yeah. So you push, you get a stress automatically, and then that's going to be added onto your next rolls.
That's right, exactly that. And then anything over 6, all the way down to like whatever the table goes up to, could be like you panic, you run, you
start crying,
frozen, screaming, drawing attention to yourself, this kind of stuff.
So that actually, your attention was the buzzword. You've locked in.
Here we go.
Here it comes. Here comes an alien fact. Did you know that Ridley Scott's real name is actually Wiggly Scott, but he legally changed his name to Ridley in 1985 when somebody informed him that Wiggly is not a real name.
Alien facts. So that's stress, and the idea of the stress is obviously, so you can get rid of stress through rest and stuff, but obviously when you're let's say you're on an abandoned ship, classic mission, finding a safe place to be able to rest is one thing, right? So if you can find a secure place and rest, you can reduce your stress, but the idea is that the more stress you get, the more
it's going to keep building up until you get back.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So that's your kind of main mechanic that kind of pushes that kind of tension, and then yeah, like I said, so it's a D6 thing. You roll D6s to succeed. Damage is very simple. You'll just have a weapon that does 2 damage. If you succeed, you just take off 2 damage.
Oh, cool.
Simple as that. But the big thing is with the aliens is that you have a stealth mode and you have a basically like combat mode.
Yeah, so on the one we played, so we're playing one of the scenarios from the book, and it was like we find this old derelict ship, and it's like a legendary one that went missing.
Yeah.
And of course, the corporation wants us to go aboard and try and get any valuable data and equipment.
And people.
So we go over there.
If any people are there to rescue him. Yeah.
So the second we go on the ship, we go into turn mode.
That's right.
And I thought, actually, I don't know if you're actually supposed to tell the players.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
But I thought it was kind of funny because we got onto the ship and obviously I don't want to meta and be like, well, obviously there's going to be an alien on there. So we're acting as if, we don't know. And then suddenly, like, in the midst of all of it, he's like, right, Harrison, what do you want to do? Ryan, what do you want to do? We're moving about, and then Nick goes, right, just take my turn. And we're like, oh no, it's like something's moving about on there, and I was just like, actually knowing that little fact, we were just like, oh fuck,
something's going on.
Yeah, I know,
and that's the whole thing.
It could be right behind you, and you don't even know.
And you don't know, because you're in stealth mode as well. It's like so I don't want to give too much of the rules away from my side, but to explain it as well. So you don't have to. So if a player sees an alien with it, so the way the game's done is it's all broken out into sectors. So you'll be on a ship, and each area will be classed as a sector. And depending on environmental issues and stuff, it might be harder to pass through a sector. Say it's got, I don't know, zero grav.
Oil on the
crap
floor
everywhere, oil on the floor, this kind of stuff. And you can look through a sector as a turn, or you can pass through two if you're moving.
Oh, okay.
If you see what I mean. And same goes for the aliens, right? So that they can they move around in stealth mode, but they won't. They don't have to attack. So you might see an alien in your room, let's say, but it might be in a kind of stasis mode, right? So maybe it's been kind of like hibernating,
or it's looking for a better moment,
or whatever. Yeah, exactly that. And you might see it, but it might not have noticed you, so you can still sneak past it and stuff like that. And then once it's been revealed, or you attack it, or whatever, then you're obviously going to combat mode. It's a completely different set of rules. Right. But there's that difference between the stalking and the actual fighting. And we all know from the films and stuff, aliens, they're pretty tough, right? They are tough. They got acid blood, they got whipping tails,
they got secondary mouth.
It's a bit, I mean, we haven't got to a fight yet, so I don't know what it's going to be like, but part of me wonders whether it's a bit like Cthulhu.
Yeah,
if you're fighting an alien,
you're doing something wrong. I actually thought that was going to be the case. And so the last thing we did is that one of our players, because obviously our characters, we don't. It's obviously I was even making jokes about it. My character's the captain. Somebody's like, "Captain, can I have a gun when we go across there?" And I'm like, "No, what do you think we're gonna do? See an alien, you idiot?
Exactly.
What are the chances of that?" And then obviously we go to the ship. Two of us went one way, one of us went the other way, because I'm the captain. I don't think there's going to be an alien on there. And then I get a call on the comms from my brother's character, who's the HR guy, and he's like, "Captain, there's some eggs in here." I'm like, "You better not be shitting me again. If this is one of your pranks, there ain't no eggs in here."
Oh, it's so good. And it's the same with the films, that kind of feeling of hopelessness, and that being as well represented in the gear. So, you play a normal game, you get your starting gear, you've all got a gun, you've all got a weapon, whatever. What have we got? I think the ship's got one pistol.
It's got one, but we do have a flamethrower.
We've got a flamethrower.
But it's put a cutting tool.
That's it.
But those are tools. And they're not to be brought out on a mission like this. So I left them where they are.
That's
I gave
right.
the one gun to the other guy, and I think I took something like a screwdriver. Exactly. I can't remember. But
that's right.
Yeah, and I gave the HR guy a hole punch because we don't like him. Because he's
like trusted.
He's like Toby from The Office.
Exactly.
Like we just hate him.
Oh man!
But actually, it reminds me, like speaking of the alien design. Here comes my second alien.
Go on, lay it on me.
The alien in Alien was very famously designed by H.R. Geiger, but there were many designs before they settled on the xenomorph we see in the films. One scrapped idea resembled a toaster with legs, but unfortunately they had to scrap it because nobody could fit in the costume.
Alien fact. So I like that idea as well. So obviously, and another nice thing as well that kind of adds to that kind of dread is that if you're on your own ship and it's operating as usual and everything's fine, then you have your supplies. You have your air, you have your electric supply, you have your food, you have your water. No problem.
In our case, powdered quesadillas.
That's right. Yeah,
there was a kid that a stowaway that got on board, and we've been giving all of the HR guys rations to him, and he was like, it was so funny. He ate 2 meals, and he was like, "Oh, I'm too full if anything."
Benjo, yeah, bless him. So they got stolen. So when you're out in a basically not on the ship, you're in your suit. After every kind of action or move as well, you also need to roll your air supply. Which we were just about to get to actually at the end of the last session, obviously to ensure that your air supply is okay. So basically you have a supply amount, and if you roll under, you're fine. If you roll over, it might be the other way around, you drop down one,
right?
And that obviously represents your limited air supply.
It does the same with ammo, doesn't it?
Yeah, same thing. And also if you use I don't know, did you bring the scanners with you, or did you leave them on the ship? Motion detectors. I think someone might have one.
Yeah, I hope so.
Me too.
Because I was very frugal with the equipment. Because I don't want to get my pay docked.
Yeah, fair enough.
If something goes missing.
Yeah, exactly. That's unaccounted for.
Well, yeah, because that was another kind of cool mechanic, and I think maybe we'll move on to the cinematic versus campaign stuff. But we each had, for each episode of this plot point campaign, was it called?
What's that?
What's the plot point campaign called that you're running?
Oh, so Chariot of the Gods we're running.
Chariot of the Gods, right? Yeah. For each one, each player has like a card. What is it called? Like an intention?
Oh, it's an agenda. So you have 3 agendas, yeah.
And you keep that secret from the other players. So thankfully, I don't think they listen to this. So mine was that I'm just in for the money. Let's get this job done and go fucking home. I don't really care. I'm going to do the minimum to get by. So that was kind of what I was thinking. I was like, I'm not getting my fucking.
No, it makes sense, and it's really fun, and that's exactly it. And so all the characters have agenda cards, and the way that the adventures, the cinematic adventures, are kind of broken out is they're broken into 3 acts, a bit like a film. And then after each act, you will dish out new cards because the people's agendas can change. And obviously, you have a little kind of debrief after every act to see if you have played your agenda. You don't have to tell the rest of the players what your agenda is. You just need to have a discussion with the GM to say, and the GM will know. So you say, I feel like you did play your,
and you get extra XP.
You'll get story points, so you get experience. So it's a bit like Benny's, really. You get story points, and that's kind of it as well. So the way cinematic play is done is exactly that. It's done like a film. You've got 3 acts. You can have pre-generated agendas and stuff that you can give characters that kind of push a story. It's a lot more. Kind of a lot goes on in a smaller amount of time, should I say, and it's more geared up for not a one shot, but that one shot feel.
Or like a short 3 to 4 episode
Absolutely.
thing.
You don't need all the backstory. You've got a pre-generated character a lot of the time, and you said, and it flows a lot quicker. Whereas the campaign play is a lot more geared up for exactly that, creating a character, building on a character in a larger world. So I said from the beginning, you guys, if we ever play a campaign world, apparently Ridley Scott said once that the Alien world is set in the same world as Blade Runner, and if you were to go back to Earth, it's Blade Runner.
Well, and it's a good thing Modiphius are making the Blade Runner RPG, right?
So that's exactly it. So I've said that from the beginning. It's exactly the same thing. If you guys were to ever travel to Earth, it would be Blade Runner.
Well, what you've done is you said, you're going to run this short one if we want to carry on playing.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a very good way of doing it, because when it comes to online games, people can be really flaky.
Yes.
But I think that'd be really cool. If any of us survive the mission,
well, this is it.
Maybe we'll get back.
This is it. And that's very much the game does bang on like that. Don't be surprised if characters die, because it's not that kind of game. It's not a game where you're building up your character and you're going to have him forever.
Well, it was kind of funny because we were saying before the game, if we do encounter an alien, we're going to feed Sean's character to him. And it was just so funny that he picked the HR guy out of all of them.
So Toby, yeah.
We were actually like that. We during the game, I was just like, right, you're getting fed to the alien, mate.
Mm-hmm.
If we see an alien, you're getting fed to it.
Motherfucker.
All right. Well, so campaign play. So cinematic play is obviously broken down into smaller chunks, and you don't sweat the small stuff, basically.
No, that's it. Yeah.
So, but campaign plays, does it actually have different mechanics, or is it just the way that
that's a very
play
good
the
question,
game?
Actually.
Well, while you look that up, here's my. We're going to have a quick alien fact, ladies.
Give us an alien fact.
The sequel to Aliens, was originally called simply Alien. But this was changed when Sigourney Weaver approached director James Cameron on set and told him that it was the same name as the first film. Cameron simply added an S on the end, which was a happy accident because it also reflected the inclusion of more than one alien.
Fact.
Alien fact.
Right, campaign play. Here we go. So, campaign play is essentially just a lot more content. So it's more open world. You can kind of you build your characters up. You kind of, rather than being down an adventure line where you've got a scenario that's been set up for you, it's kind of, I would imagine you'd start a campaign game much like a D&D one. You'd start in an inn maybe, but it'd be a spaceship inn.
Yeah.
And it's more open world and down to what the players want to do and building up players over time.
And that wouldn't necessarily always be like a horror situation.
No, it might not be.
Just be like,
you could do whatever the hell you want. Maybe you've all gone back. Maybe you're on vacation for a week and you've got a bit of leave and you decide that you want to go planet hopping and go to some bars and stuff.
And you're at the bar.
Yeah.
And one of the guys was like, "Wow, that waitress looks really hot. She's got quite a long tail." And then you sit next to her and you're like, "What?" And it turns around. Wearing the uniform, it's a xenomorph.
What I would love to play, I wonder if it would actually work, but have you seen Spaceballs?
No, I haven't.
Right, so Spaceballs is a amazing spoof film that takes the piss out of Star Wars, Alien, all them kind of popular things from that time. And it's fantastic, mate. It's so funny, but it's all proper slapstick and that. But obviously, there's a scene where there's a chest burster and stuff, and it pops out and starts singing. And Yeah, and imagine doing more of a comedy feel to it. So you can still have the scariness of Alien, but obviously if you're off planet or in the colonies where there is no alien infection or anything going on, you can just have a normal game.
In the world.
Yeah, it's out there somewhere, but just not where you guys are right now.
Yeah. So what we're talking about is that somebody maybe you're at the bar, instead of it being behind the bar, you look out. They've got one of those telescopes, you know, you get at like the shore of places. Yeah. You put in 20p, you look into the sky to look at a distant star. What do you see?
Someone's waving at you. He's like that. He's pointing and doing that,
just points
cutthroat sign, and you know something's coming, guys.
I think we should abort the mission. And Waylon Yutani's like, no, you're going, mate.
You're going, buddy.
And you go too close to the sun, it jumps on.
Wait, or you could play. So campaign play keeps it right open, gives you all the background for the corporation stuff. Maybe you're a bunch of top Yutani guys, so you're not the grunts anymore, you're the big boffs, and maybe you're out on a, I don't know, you know when like the CEO goes and does a
you're the ones giving like the really terrible missions, but eventually your staff keep dying,
you don't know what's going on,
and then so eventually the CEOs have got to go out themselves.
Exactly, mate, exactly. You know, and it gives you a lot of information. It gives you all the star maps, gives you all the kind of, like I said, the background to all these big corporations.
Well, I get it. So the campaign play, the way it differs is that the cinematic play is more structured like a film.
Yes.
Absolutely. And to an extent with a bit more prompting and like murder mystery elements.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly that. And then a campaign is more whatever you want to make it, basically, whatever you want that campaign to be.
Cool. We'll move on to the next part of the RPG in a second. But we've got two more alien facts. I think I'll just get them both out now because these are probably the best ones. So the part of Sigourney Weaver in the Alien film was originally going to be played by Tim Curry. But Sigourney was given the role because she shared a name with the movie's protagonist, Sigourney Weaver. Tim Curry did audition for the role, but apparently became confused when people called him Sigourney Weaver.
Right.
The last one is to prepare for his role in Alien Resurrection. Ian McKellen actually went on a trip to space. Unfortunately, due to a mechanical failure, he was unable to make it back to Earth for many years. So his part was given to Ron Perlman.
What, the cat or the human?
Is there a cat?
You not seen the cat that looks like Ron Perlman?
No,
my God!
I want to see this now.
Look at that. Just put Ron Perlman cat.
Ron Perlman cat.
They were separated at birth.
That's worrying.
I've never seen nothing like it.
Let's have a look here. Ron Perlman cat. Oh my God. It really does look like him.
It's the same guy.
Yeah, Google that. Also, Google 500 dinosaur with 500 teeth.
Okay.
Google it now, Nick. Have a look on your phone.
Dinosaur with 500 teeth.
Yeah.
It's not like meat spin, is it?
No, it's not like meat spin. It's nothing bad. Well, no, just do it. You'll see.
500. Right, 500 teeth.
And then just read out the name of the dinosaur.
Okay.
What's it called, Nick?
It's a Nigosaurus.
You can go away with it there. You pronounced it differently. Right, anyway, so that's Alien. No, what are we doing? What are we doing next?
What are we doing now?
Oh, so the first session that we played, I kind of wanted to talk about our experience as a player. So we played the first first adventure, and it was a lot of sort of we're going to deliver something to another planet.
That's it. Yeah. So you're on your way to Sutter's World, which is an offshore colony. Newly developed one that they found quite far out. Yeah.
And we wake up and we find that we're actually not on the right course. We wake up from cryostasis. It turns out our mission has been changed because they found that derelict spaceship and we need to go on and investigate the eggs.
Yeah.
But what was cool is it was a lot of sort of like, it started like the film where it was like just sort of ship life and the people sitting down bullshitting with each other and you know, bantering and stuff like this, which was a hell of a lot of fun. And so that was the first episode. I found what I really liked, which probably is a part of the cinematic gameplay, was how streamlined it is. It's like, okay, a lot of normal stuff, you can just do it. And the atmosphere and the way the ship works is very much like the film.
Yeah.
And there was like a room with a computer in it that only the captain could go into.
Yeah.
All of this stuff. Like,
and it's called, and the ship's AI is called Mother, which is kind of weird, but kind of cool.
Well, do you know why that is? And this is actually a real alien fact, not the bullshit ones I made up. But it's because H.R. Geiger, the way he designed the alien, it was supposed to be to exploit a male fear of pregnancy.
Yes.
That's why when we connect to the other ship, it's called an umbilical cord. The bloody thing's called Mother. It's like all subliminal shit. But I really liked it. So when we played Gen Lab Alpha, which I think is a really great game, it's very good. But when you're building your dice pools up, so you have different coloured dice for attributes, stats, and gear, and then you roll it and you're trying to get 6s, right?
That's right. Yep.
But ones mean something different depending on which coloured dice they are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In this, you only have the black dice, so you just all it is you just pull them all together, roll it, and then you've got the yellow stress dice.
That's right.
And I think as a distillation of the sort of Modifius system, I really liked it because I thought like there's no bullshit. It's just what the game needs. And the stress mechanic is enough to really keep it going.
Exactly that.
And when it was like stuff that we really, really didn't want to fail and people were pushing it, it's like it gets a lot more stressful. And
Absolutely.
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, that for me is it really kind of hits the nail on the head with that feeling, because you're building the tension up, the stress is getting higher, you guys are getting more panicked and more trying to get stuff done or quickly or whatever it may be, and it kind of really goes hand in hand with that.
Well, it was like one of the things was we were in the umbilical, which is obviously not a very safe place to be in comparison to being in an actual spaceship.
Yep.
And so we were trying to get the door open very quickly, and we put the we're sending him first every time. By the way, we put the HR guy out
when
the
the captain's going, you got to go out the front.
And he's like, "Sir, that's not my expertise." And I'm like, "Shut up, bitch!
Get in the front.
Open that door." And we passed the cutting tool down and then passed it back down like a train.
Love it.
But I think and the agenda cards I think is sort of the perfect thing as well, because that's so accurate to horror films.
Yes.
If you watch The Thing or the Alien movies, in fact, everyone always has their own sort of little plot going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll often see this person just wants to grab this before he gets it. Like, it's like in Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah.
Which can loosely be determined as a horror film.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
like the guy who just wants to get out of there with the eggs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's in it for a scab.
That's his agenda.
And that's the good thing about another nice thing about Alien as well is that feel, because you've got obviously with your adventuring party in a D&D game, they all want to be heroes, they all want to be loved by the people, want to get cool stuff, whatever. These lot don't. These lot have got a shite job. They're all together because they work together.
Yep. And it's very close quarters.
It's very close quarters, and it's not. No one's trying to be heroes. They just want to get paid and get home.
Yeah. And the last thing they want
freaking aliens
is to be aliened up.
Yeah, they do not want eggs.
Yeah, but yeah, I think one of the things that made the experience so good. So we played the session online.
Yep.
And you got the community content, and there was an online content pack specifically for this one,
for
right?
Roll20. Yeah. So I bought the starter pack. And I bought the bundle actually, to be fair, because it was better price. But it basically comes with Chariots of the Gods and all the rule stuff you need for running Alien.
So it was all, so what did it include specific for the adventure as well? Because the character sheets were really nice.
So you get all the pre-gens already done on the Roll20 character sheet, where they've got buttons where they automatically roll and stuff like that, which is really nice. You get a token set, you get some maps. I will say that they were a little bit lazy. Whoever done the Roll20 stuff, they just gave you generic player character tokens, but you guys have got your proper tokens.
Yes.
That is fan content free. Someone sat and actually bothered to make that because the people that sold the Roll20 stuff couldn't be asked to.
So what did they do? They just they gave you. Oh, so it would have been just like
circle. It's just a little person. It's just a silhouette of a person. But when you're playing an online Roll20 game, you want the face. You want your character's face.
You've got to get a little bit.
So that was a little bit of a dud. Apart from that, it's fine. All the handouts are all the bits are good, and the handouts and stuff, and the maps and that. It's enough. But for me, I wanted to add a bit more art. I like to show a picture sometimes when there's something going on.
Yeah.
So I did do a little bit of work, but it does make your life so much easier, because all you need to do, you've got the bare bones. If you want to fluff it up even more, you can, but you can literally.
So we had the map of the two spaceships that we were on, and you showed us some images, but I guess the images were. You put those in. Yeah,
the images were... So inside, I put all them in, but the stuff you get with the Roll20 is basically the big star map, so the giant one, where it's like the whole of the constellations, and then you've got the map of your ship, the map of the ship you're on, and then some other bits I can't tell you about just now. Okay, but apart from that, it's... So
the music, did that come with it?
Nope, you don't get none of the music. So again, that was fan content, all that wicked music.
So tell us about that, because you've been raving about this. So apparently this game is like super fucking fucking well supported.
Yeah,
by fans.
absolutely.
So what did you find then?
Really active at the moment. So I found on Facebook and Reddit, there's a lot of active community people putting together free stuff. Like people seem to love writing modules for this. So
nice.
the whole cinematic play, it's really got people's imaginations going by the looks of it. Because so people publish a lot of these adventures, these cinematic adventures.
So you can almost go from like doing this one to then the next one.
Absolutely.
It's like almost like the sequel.
Of course you can. Yeah, exactly that. And the one that comes with the beginner box as well, which I'm hoping we'll play. Depends on how we get on, but it's basically Hadley's Hope. So you know Aliens, when they go to that place, that's Hadley's Hope. So you're basically doing the Aliens game.
Yeah, that'd be awesome
for the second one. But again, there's loads of the fan base are amazing. So because that kind of art, that retro futuristic maps where it's all green writing sitting over black backgrounds and star charts and stuff like that. People love that, and they've been making it. So you'll get someone literally just done a load of extra stuff for that Chariots of the Gods, where they've made proper tokens, they've made a load of wicked music that's actually proper like Ridley Scott style music. They've added a couple of extra maps and some shots, and it's just in a zip that's just been put online for free. I mean, these lot are doing it all the time. Reddit, and Facebook, if you go just Google Alien RPG reference sheet, there's loads of nice reference sheets that have been made, and they just seem to be busy all the time. So that little video that I showed you, where it just shows you the map trail, it said 8 weeks. That was someone made that weren't official.
That's ridiculous, because that was kind of cool. So we saw Nick had this little video, and we saw like what we saw in the monitors of the ship, and that's really cool. That's really cool. I mean, it really created a lot of atmosphere there. Actually, one thing, just to diverge very slightly, that was pretty funny. Nick did a screen share with the online game and showed us the sort of the intro from Aliens, where it's looking through the ship. Yeah. And it was like, right, this is your ship, and whatever. And then all of us were in character, and we were like, you should have cleaned that area.
We're going to stay to that.
Why nobody done no cleaning? Look at that dust. There's a rat down there. And but it was awesome. But so the fan content, there's a lot of it coming out. Is it like on the subreddit or something like this?
Yeah, so I would definitely join the Alien RPG subreddit, and I would also definitely join. So there's 2 active groups that I'm in on Facebook. One of them is just the Alien one, and I think the other one actually is something like Alien one shots or Alien RPG shorts or something like that. And it seems to be, there's always like, I mean, I don't go on Facebook much anymore, but when you get a notification pop up, it seems to be someone's made something on Alien and published it. So it's quite a trendy game at the moment, where there's quite a lot of fan content.
I mean, but it's a good time to play it.
It is a good time to play it.
Because I've been looking for some stuff because I'm going to run Deadlands soon, so I get my 100 quid's worth out of this. But I've been looking for a lot of maps, and I've got to tell you, it's not.
Oh, do you know, it's always a bit sad when like you've missed the boat and you'll get a game and you're like, oh, this is awesome, and you'll look on the groups and it's like, someone made a proper good post 2 years ago and it's all kind of fizzled out. You're like,
that was what I was going to say, because there was a website I found. I was looking for Old West maps to use with like battle maps and stuff. And there's this guy's like, well, basically the only one is this website. And he linked to it, and he's like, I've got like 150 different Wild West maps on there. Clicked it, link's dead now.
Error 404.
It was like ages ago. So I'm just like, what the fuck do I... So, and then somebody was like, oh, you could use these, and he linked to like an American library that had actual Old West maps. Yeah. But they're not really very readable or well drawn or anything. No. So it's like,
oh, it's a shame.
Bloody annoying. Yeah. I might just play Deadlands, but using all the Alien RPG content.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fine. Oh, I'd like to play Deadlands. Do you know what? But yeah, it's a shame when it goes like that. But luckily, if you do want to get into Aliens, right now is probably the time to do it. There's another one of these coming out soon.
Oh, another box set adventure.
Nice. And it doesn't seem like they're slowing down at the moment. So I would definitely, if it sounds like your bag, now's the time to start playing it.
Well, I think because Mothership's recently come out, right?
Yes.
It's like, but that's an OSR space horror along the same veins.
But they could probably link in together.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. But what's cool about this one is it is literally the universe from the films.
Yes.
It's not a cheap, I don't want to say cheap knockoff, but it's not like an approximation.
It's not a nod to it. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So if you want to play that world where Ripley's still alive, you can. It's all there for you, the whole thing.
Perfect. I mean, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
So, but presentation-wise, because I think that links in for the community content. Presentation-wise, I've had a flick through the book when CJ sent it to us, but What do you make of it? I think it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
but...
it's stunning. It's great. It's all dark pages. The only thing is it's high gloss pages, which look great, but they're bloody difficult to read at night with a light on.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, I forgot.
Because they reflect. But no, it's very good. It's well done. I mean, it's nothing less than you'd expect from Free League. They put good books together, and they present them really well. So as you would imagine, there's quotes from the film dotted all over the place. It's a nice big fat rule book. Probably what we're talking here. How many pages? I mean, yeah, it's nearly 400 pages.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's quite
goes into deep detail about everything you could possibly want to play, and presented quite nicely, like much of the mutant stuff is. Easy to follow, a simple rule system with such good content that you don't need a complicated system because you've got all the fun in the.
That's
side of
part of what I liked about it, and I think the other week we were talking about on the bloody podcast, we were talking about modern versus old school.
Yep.
And this is a very good example of a good modern game. Yeah. And in fact, like Modiphysis games are like a lot of them are. But I've got to say, out of the few that I've played, this is my favourite at the moment.
100%. Do you know what I loved? Obviously, fell in love with the Mutant World because it was the first kind of experience of that system, a simple system of really good, really good content, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And I've got Mechatron that I've not run yet, and obviously Mutant and Gen Lab. But yeah, part of me really likes this because it's got the stress mechanic,
and it's also nailing the feel of those old films.
Yeah, and it really does. That's the thing. It's really treated it with respect, and actually, I think through good game design, they've actually got as close to that film as you can.
Yeah, they really done themselves.
Yeah,
really. So.
I mean, well, did it feel like the film when you were playing it?
Definitely. I mean, it's one of those games. When obviously, I enjoy most of the sessions we play. I mean, aside from the last two ones. But like with this, it was one of those ones where afterwards we were talking about it for days. It was like,
God, yeah.
Sometimes when you get like one of those sort of like gadzooks moments in RPGs, it's like we kind of had that, and it was me and Ryan were down the pub the other day.
Yeah.
And he was telling his mate about it, his mate Dan, right, who is into like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and he's like hard and quite cool.
Oh, right.
And Ryan was like, we played an Alien last night, and I was just like, he doesn't give a fuck about this, mate.
He don't care about
it. But it was one of those like where we were talking about. We were like, it was fucking amazing, and obviously two of the players couldn't make it, and I was telling one of them, Tomasin, about it the next day. And he was just like, I'm so fucking jealous. It's because of his shitty girlfriend, I think.
Well, yeah. Unfortunately,
yeah.
Because because it was one of the game's first session's going okay as game mother when
game mother. I forgot about that.
So rather than you do play a GM, which stands for game mother in this game, which is really funny. But no, what I like about it, especially every GM does, is when you're as a GM, when you're trying to find an opportunity to put a bit of the adventure in to progress it slightly because the characters are having so much fun role playing that you just let them get on with it.
Yeah,
there was no silent moments. If anything, I had to wait for a space to just jump in to say, right, you're going to go forward, because you lot were just chatting, doing your thing, and that's great, and I love that, and that you're having a good game when that's happening.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was brilliant, man, and the atmosphere was awesome.
Good.
So yeah, I think it was. I think Alien RPG. I'll give it 3 Xenomorphs out of 3.
Oh, top marks.
Lastly, I just wanted to say, any tips for running it, and what do you need to play it? Is there like is there a GM screen or any of this stuff?
So there's absolutely. So if you want to play it across the table, absolutely, there's a GM screen. Obviously, the rule book. I think there's a starter set as well.
There must be a set of dice.
Oh yeah. So again, the nice thing about this one is. Well, like all the games, really, you don't need to have the special dice. There is a set of special dice, which
but you just need one colour for standard rolls, one colour for stress dice.
Exactly. So you just need say, I don't know, 6d6 in 2 different colours. That's all you need, and you just need to remember which ones represent your stress and which ones represent your normal skill dice, and that is it. But yeah, no, there's loads of content. You can get the GM screen. They come with some nice cards, like the agenda cards. They come in the box set of the adventure. There's gear cards, all that extra stuff that's nice. But no, to play it, just the book really, and some D6.
Cool. And so the adventure you're running, is that from the main book?
No, it's not. So that's the Hadley Hope one is in the main book. So that one, that's a larger. So that Destroyer of Worlds that I've got is a much larger one. It's like more of a campaigny one. Chariot of the Gods, I think that got released with the beginner set.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, but there's a few adventures floating around. So someone that's running it, first of all, I would definitely say run a cinematic play. So get your, I'm sure you'll have some friends that want to play Alien. Most people do. It's quite a popular film.
Well, the good thing about this game, you could probably sell it to normies as well. Just be like,
I think it's a good gateway drug.
Yeah, it
into
is,
the hobby
because it's the cinematic one. You could just go, it's sort of like a murder mystery, but it's set in the Alien universe.
Do you like that film? Yeah. All right, there we go.
Yeah, let's play this board game I've got. Wink.
Exactly. So I would argue that it's quite a good gateway drug into the hobby. 100%. It's one of them ones where you can, you're not going to put people off that might not have experienced anything.
Get your mother-in-law to play it.
Yeah, she'll love it
because then you can kill her in the game.
Yeah. And it's all good. Yeah, it's all good. But no, I would definitely say run a short cinematic arc and just do it like the film, because then it will be run one of them ones that are just like the film, and then your players, if they're into Alien, will really really enjoy themselves. After that, do whatever the hell you like, but I would set the scene with a very alien-y film.
Because I think that's
cinematic game.
I hope this is going to go on for longer than 4 sessions.
Oh, it will. Yeah. So the way we're going at the moment, and even reading it says, when it says like this adventure can be played in like up to 5 hours, and everyone's like 5 sessions.
Yeah.
Unless you're rushing it, it's 5 sessions. So no, this will run for a while. And but the way they're geared up with the 3 acts, if they do fly through, they can, and if they don't, you've got all the content you need to keep going. So yeah, I would definitely play it as a cinematic, and definitely get that Alien vibe for your first game.
Yeah, absolutely. Because just try. Well, like you said, make it like the films. It's got to be creepy. You don't just have the alien burst out straight away.
No. You want
start
that
impregnating you.
Yeah, exactly. You want that creeping terror.
Yes,
and that's it, mate. And yeah. It's very good, I must say. It's very good.
I think that's a good review. I think we've convinced people to go and buy it.
I think so.
I think Modophius, they owe some money.
Big time.
Come
Even
though you didn't even buy that one.
No. Our Lord and Saviour bought it for us instead. But there you go.
Yeah, he's a good bloke. But yeah, that's Alien RPG by Modophius. Go and check it out. It's really good.
And if you're already running it, let us know how it's going, so I can nick your ideas. No,
no, that's what we need. We do. Nick, he needs ideas.
I need ideas. I'm an ideas man.
But not right now.
But I ain't got none.
I'm a no ideas man.
No, play it's fun.
Yep. Bye.
We'll go for
In the future, you will be able to send a letter or parcel from anywhere on the planet. This, sir, is the Electro letter.
Love it. Right.
We're back. We're better. Here's my wife knocking on the door. Millie, yeah.
Hello.
You look ravishing.
As do you.
Oh,
thanks. Wow.
That muffin is looking awfully like a hamster. Someone baked a hamster into my muffin.
Electro letters.
You actually shuffle in the electro letters.
No, I dropped one.
Here they come.
That's my alien fact.
They're coming through the
facts. Electro letters. Physical edition. Okay. So this is going to be we're going to dive into the quagmire of your letters and correspondence that you have sent us. So the first one comes in from Lassie. He says the best advice for GMs to keep the pace during a session without railroading the players. Also, how do you cure player analysis paralysis?
It's a mouthful.
So the first one, keeping pace.
Keeping pace.
I don't really use any sort of special techniques, but I do run a quite fast-paced game. But I just sort of like, when somebody's describing their move, once they've got it out, I don't, before they go into too much detail and start barking on, if they just say, I want to convince the guard of this, I just go, all right, roll it. And then I'll roll it, tell them what happens like quickly, and then go, right, what are you doing? And we'll just, I think a bit of it is having a bit of assertiveness.
Yes,
you've just got like just telling players, right, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And another thing is like, I saw on Dungeon Craft's channel, he has a categories counter. So it's like, you press it counts down for 30 seconds, and you can hear it going doop, doop, doop. Ooh, and in combat, he presses the button every time it's somebody's turn. You've got that amount of time to figure out what you're going to do.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And it makes it more tension. But the absolute worst thing ever is when it gets to a player's turn during a combat, and they've had 5 fucking turns to think of what to do, and they go, oh, what should I do? I don't know. And they're looking over their sheet. Yeah, get a timer.
Yeah,
stick it on.
Idea.
Like a 30-second sand timer or one of those categories ones.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Get them moving.
Yeah, but mostly I think it's just being assertive and knowing when to move on.
I was just about to say that's the thing, isn't it? It's kind of being a bit aware of what's going on. So like, you know, if your characters are having a proper chat in character about stuff, great. When it starts getting into like what they're having for dinner, what they think about the weather, then you know it's time to maybe just give them a little nudge.
Yeah, and I always go, as you're talking, this thing happens.
You know,
do you know what I mean?
Sound, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can just kind of cut if it's pointless and you can tell the players wanted to do something, you can kind of just do it like that.
Or also to move it as well is kind of note a player that hasn't had too much input in the past 10-15 minutes and just say like, what are you doing?
Exactly. And if the characters are mid conversation, they're just fucking about, you know, just pouring drinks on each other in the pub, you can always just go go to that player that hasn't done anything in a while,
ask him,
and then you cut them straight off and just go, right, you guys are at the other end of the bar, what are you doing? And just moves things on.
That's it. Move it around a bit. And what's the other one? So
analysis paralysis.
What is analysis?
That's
paralysis?
like when you have too many options and the players spend all night discussing plans.
Okay. Yeah.
So this can happen a lot, but in my games it's kind of I keep it explicit when it's time to do a plan.
It's a plan, and it's a planning stage, and we know we're in planning stage, and we know that we've got a set amount of time to make sure our plan. Or it's when we say the plan's ready, but we know we're planning. Yeah,
but I think you've got to kind of adjudicate, because you could plan all night for one simple thing.
But you do though, don't you? Because you'll go right. So that's that part to get through the door. So how are you going to sort out this part?
Yes, exactly. So because you can often be a like okay, we sneak into the building, and then the players will discuss several ways. And like if I feel like it's getting to the point where we're going around in circles, I will just go, right, so everyone put their hands up, who wants to rappel in off a helicopter, who wants to climb up the side of the walls.
That's it.
And then we go, all right, moving on, next part of the plan. And you just kind of, because the trouble is when they're coming up with too many options, you just go, okay, you can just stop them and just say, look, okay, so we've got about 5 different options here. Who wants to do this one? Who wants to do this one?
That's it. Finalise, and then next part.
Yeah, because sometimes I think sometimes the players just don't know they're doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh no, it's definitely not. And or you'll be talking about one idea which you think is really good, but then someone will pop in with an opinion that you haven't thought about, and then before you know it, you're back to square one.
Yes.
And you can fall into that loop.
I mean, another good one is like with mass battles. I mean, we talked about my mass battles system on one episode, and now. You can also do planning stages like that. Just say, if once you get to the planning stage, let's say for example you're in Shadowrun and you're doing a heist from a museum.
Yep.
Ow. You just go. You just say to the players, okay, right, for this heist, you've got 5 big maneuvers that you can take.
Yeah.
And these are going to be the 5 encounters of the night that we're going to do. So the first step, you want to case the building.
Yep.
So. Tell me, what's your plan for doing that? And once you think that they've got enough detail, just go, okay, moving on. Step 2, what are you doing? And then that's kind of it. Because you could just sit back and let them chat and let them plan, but ideally you want things to happen.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think just you've just got to be that kind of guy that's just like, okay, right, I'm writing that down. That's
the plan. Yeah, and it will happen because bless players, they want to chat, and we've all done it, and it's fun planning, but you can lose track of time.
And also if it's like there are so many options, you've just got to make it clear, right, nail down one of them.
Yeah, and especially if they're not like, like sometimes it's like, right, you've got you've got to go in there tomorrow and they've got an evening to sort it. If it's like a kind of they've got as much time as they like because it's down to them when they want to execute the plan, then that's another problem.
Very good point.
Just like, we'll go get some bits for that and we'll do that.
Well, an ICRPG has quite a good mechanic for that, and let's say because the reason I keep bringing up like heists is because that's often where loads of planning happens, or if they're making an attack on a specific person or doing an assassination, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that often happens, and in ICRPG you've got the timer mechanic. So you kind of, the way it boils down is that you have 3 different types of time. There's moments, that's what happens in combat. There's hours, and then there's days, right? Yeah. So if you say, right, you roll the d4, which is your timer dice, and every time you go once around the table, it goes down a number.
Okay.
So if you were doing, let's just say again, Shadowrun.
Shadowrun.
If you're doing Shadowrun and the heist is a museum, you plop the timer dice down and you go, right, you sort of either instinctively know or you've heard that in D4 days, that's when the artifact is being locked in the vault.
Gotcha.
Do you know, something like that?
Yeah.
And then that means, okay, well, now everyone gets to take one turn per
Ready
day.
or not, you've got that.
Yeah, you've got to do it. And you're exactly right. That's nail on the head. It's timing is really important. Because if you say you've got this high star, it's always there. Don't worry about it. You know, you've got.
We'll get it when we're ready. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then they'll just spend the next 6 months of games planning for it.
It got moved.
Yeah, totally. So good. That's analysis paralysis. We've solved that problem.
There you go.
Next up, world hunger. Lassie, he has another question. He said, if you had to play in a game with any British Prime Minister, dead or alive, as GM, who would you pick and why? So the Prime Minister's GM in your game.
What, Maggie there?
Well, I was going to say Margaret Thatcher, because Margaret Thatcher, you know, that would be edgy as seat stuff. She would not give a fuck about you. You'd have to play the best fucking D&D you've ever played.
Yeah,
otherwise, you're getting fucked.
Yeah.
And
mate.
You know, she wouldn't be doling out experience. She'd have
initiative.
But she's a person that has no compassion. So I think that actually that would be quite a fun game to play.
It would. Is there any wriggle? Nope.
Do we get any experience for that? Because I really dealt with it. But also, I will say this: I did kill the goblins in a very spectacular way. So, do they have any loot on them or anything like this?
No. Fuck off.
Piss off.
Closed.
Yeah. It's got to be Maggie Thatcher.
It's got to be Maggie, innit? Yeah. The old battle axe. Yeah.
I also feel like Theresa May might be quite a good look.
I just want to see her walking up to.
That's what I was thinking. Right?
Screen.
You know, she would be doing the. She'd be doing all the actions.
And the voices.
And as she walks up to her GM screen, she'd be like doing that dance that she did. I think those are the two right answers. I mean, because all the other prime ministers we've had are quite boring. You know what I mean?
I mean, can you imagine fucking John Major?
What? No. What would happen in his games is that if you got off of his railroad, he'd just lean over the screen and punch you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what would happen.
Exactly that.
Yeah, John Major would be that. Now that's a way to put fear into your players. Right, you're playing Alien RPG. John Major's running it, and you see him going red. He's getting angry.
You're getting slapped. That screen's falling down, and he's coming at you.
Yeah, and he's like, he's like, okay, you pull up next to the derelict spaceship. Do you go in? And we go no, and you just see him, mate. You're gonna get punched. Oh, what about George Galloway? Oh no, he's not a prime minister.
PM. He'd be mad. Starts doing his cat impression.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. He could be the cat. You could play Gen Lab Alpha.
Play Red Dwarf.
Oh, we've got. I'm going to make a jingle of that. I'm going to make a jingle of that. Like, so we're playing Gen Lab Alpha. What character do you want to pick? And then he's like, do you want me to be the cat?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh, that's good. That's good. The Buttman, he says same question as above, but British monarch.
Oh.
So, British monarch has to run a game for you.
Okay, that's fine. If you really want edgier seat stuff, it's got to be old Henry, innit?
Henry VIII.
Off with your head.
You will either be beheaded or survive, that's the real tension.
And that's the real thing. So do you reckon Henry will be a bit like? If you die again.
But the trouble is, what's that song? Right, 4 and 20 blackbirds ate a pie.
Yeah.
So. The trouble is, right, you wouldn't be able to understand him because he'd have his mouth full of crow pies the whole time. Just
talking in old English.
Eating loads of crows, fucking having a heart attack midway through.
You get to game at Hampton Court. It's quite nice.
Yeah, but you might get your Hampton Court.
But you might get your Hampton Court off.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's right. But that I don't know. What's the one from The Favourite? Who's that? Queen Anne.
Oh shit! Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So because she's a bit mental, I feel like her games would be very gonzo,
wacky. Yeah, totally.
That'd be sick.
That's such a good film.
And she'd be like, "Do you want to raise some lobsters?"
Why not?
If your lobster wins, then you succeed on this roll. If not, I'm going to shoot you.
You're going in the stocks.
You're going in the stocks. Yeah. Yeah. I think those are two good answers. I feel like maybe what was his name? Richard III.
Oh, Richard III.
Yeah, that's him.
Well, what about old Lionheart?
Who's he?
Richard I?
I don't know. I know nothing about British history, sadly.
Not very good, is it? It's a bit two men of the Isles.
But I feel like the King James, the one who united Scotland and England, much to the chagrin of a lot of people.
Yeah.
I feel
yeah.
I feel as if he would be a good guy who would actually keep the game going.
Yeah,
because he united two countries that really didn't get along.
Wrote all our history.
Right, exactly. So it would be a very deep world.
Yeah.
You know the group wouldn't break up because he's good at uniting
keep
people.
It all together. Speaking of it, actually, The Last Kingdom, that series on Netflix, that would make a good game.
It would. Really good game. Ryan was telling me about that.
Historically accurate RPG, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought I was getting when I bought bloody RPG Pundit's Rose War, but unfortunately it has that thing that I mentioned before with France being ruled by actual frogs because he's a racist. Buckman also follows up with, how would you change alignment in D&D, or would you change alignment in D&D?
What?
So what he means is the system of alignment, not how would your character change alignment.
I don't like how cut and dry alignment can be sometimes. I feel like there is flexibility there.
Well, exactly, and I mean,
and I hate I would do that because I am chaotic evil, and that is the only reason why I would do it.
Well,
that bothers me.
It also there's good ways to play alignment, and then there's rigidly sticking to it no matter what.
And that's what does my head in. That breaks a game.
If you're playing a lawful good paladin, it doesn't mean you can never ever steal.
If you understand the greater mission of your party, that in turn is going to be for something good,
and somebody's starving, you nick a loaf of bread, but you will probably just hate yourself and then go to like a confession or make a big donation
and role play that. Do you know what I mean? Make it interesting. Not well, I'm that alignment, so I have to do that. That breaks games.
Yeah, you do it all, and it does. You like players get into arguments, PvP happens.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I agree with you. In Vampire, the way they did it was pretty cool because you had what you inwardly wanted and what you presented as what you wanted.
That's interesting.
And then you had your motivation and things like this. And
it's like Edges and Hindrances. I think they're very good because they're a little bit, they're not this all-encompassing way of thinking in your mind.
Well, there's 1,000 different ways to interpret the mean hindrance.
Exactly.
But then with alignments, there's billions of ways to interpret them. But I find that for some reason, players always interpret them the same way.
Yeah, I do as well.
I don't like chaotic characters very much because chaos could just mean that you believe in anarchy. You just don't believe
anti-establishment.
In
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you always do the weirdest possible, most crazy thing at all times.
Exactly.
And that's what I hate
and that's an easy trap to fall into, I think.
But a lot of people do, and it's annoying. It's just like, you just go into the next town, I'm going to kill some cats and rape some people. And,
that's what I do.
That's what I do. I'm chaotic, all right? Why? I don't know, mate.
Just don't ask me.
Because even like the Joker would be a good chaotic evil character, right?
Yeah.
But even he had some motivations where he does sort of just want to cause chaos, but it's also like he's anti-establishment, but anti the current crime scene, and even that has like
there's motivation there. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, if I was going to change it, I mean, they tried to do it in 5e really, but they didn't. They should just pick one or the other because they kind of had your bonds and flaws. But they should just have that and scrap alignment.
Scrap the alignment chart,
yeah. I don't know. I agree. I actually like it and think that it can be used really well, but I just don't think it often is.
It's used the right way.
Yeah,
that's the thing,
especially by players. It just doesn't happen.
100%.
Big York Rex with the Kung Fu grip.
Oh, yeah.
He says, which game designer would you want to run a session of their own game for you, and what game would it be? Pulling from this, what gaming celebrities would you want at the table for a special one-off session? Excluding the regular 3T crew, of course. Everyone wants them.
Oh,
he's saying the right things.
Thank you very much.
He's saying the right things.
Big Yorkie.
Which game designer would you want to run a game of their game for you?
Oh, I'd love to play Mork Borg for the Dark Lords.
That would be good.
But I'd worry I weren't dark enough.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you get there and it's like free, like they're sitting on big thrones and they've got like draped in hoods and you can't see
I was a bit upset when I saw what Sly Flourish looked like. He did the Lazy Dungeon Master's Guide, and I sort of saw him as a bit of a genius. And you know, when you imagine a genius, you sort of think suit, nice looking,
good glasses,
like or like a wizard.
Yeah,
I saw him and I was just like, oh, he's a fat nerd. Like, I mean, I shouldn't have been surprised, but honestly. So yeah, I mean, how did I get onto that? With the Mork Borg guys.
Yeah,
I bet they're fat nerds.
You reckon?
Yeah, well, they probably got long hair.
Yeah,
but that's about it.
Yeah,
I don't reckon. I don't think they live.
Imagine you get there and all dressed up as Kiss.
That would be fine. That would be all right.
Yeah,
it's like you ever seen that? It was like German pop idol when a black metal singer went on there. Like, that's what I imagine them to look like.
Or we could run Crystal Hearts.
We'll get Aaron to that. I think that would be, maybe he would turn us around on
that's
it,
right.
but I doubt it.
No.
See, my biggest one, really, because there's not many, like, actual game designers that I'm like. I like certain companies, publishers, and teams of people to work together. Like, I think, for example, Justin's Imagination are very good.
Yes.
That was a bit of a dream of mine to get games run by Eric, but we play tested Wise Guys. So it's like, and also Richard Woolcock, I played in his Saga of the Goblin Horde setting. So it's like, that's ticked off the list.
Mate, that was like,
I can die happy.
Come all the way over from Germany to see Little Old Us. Like,
yeah, it was amazing.
A legend, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, like, I'm looking at my shelf up here, and I don't know, like, because Joseph Goodman, Goodman Games running DCC would probably be really good.
Oh, what about the Cyberpunk dude?
Oh, Brent Alt. Oh no, Mike Pondsmith.
Pondsmith and Brent as well.
Mike Pondsmith, I would love to play it because of his voice. Yeah. I imagine the atmosphere would just be and he is a genius, and that's one guy that didn't disappoint when I saw him, because I was just like, he looks as cool as he sounds and as cool as his products are.
I know who I'd like to run a game for, purely because it would just be so easy. Who's that? Who's that twat that's kicking off with? Is it Gary Gygax's son or whatever?
What? No, but he hasn't made any games for which to run. I mean, if he turned up, you'd just be like, so what are we doing today? He's like,
I ain't got that far yet.
Well, we did have Giant Lands, but unfortunately the actual creator took it away from us when he saw my tweets. So probably a bit of Connect 4. All right, Ernie, why not?
Do you like Risk?
It's all right. No, but wait, we can role play that we're really generals. It'll be fun. I'm like, Ernie, stop.
Fuck off.
Go back to McDonald's. Yeah, so what gaming celebrities would you want at a table for a special one-off celebrity?
Gaming celebrities? I'd get Matt Mercer on the show. Matt's done.
Oh, take that, Critical Role. Matt Mercer's laughing all the way to the bank at the moment.
Yeah, just crying into his bank.
Well, the famous one, isn't it? The famous D&D player is Vin Diesel.
Oh, of course, yeah.
That would be cool. And
he's meant to be really good.
He did a one-off session with Critical Role.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like, he's not the best actor in the world, but he's probably still better than most people.
Yeah.
So it was like seeing him sitting at a table and the way he role played. I was just like, this guy's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like that would be really good.
I hope Vin Diesel's whole acting career was born off the back of him being an RPG player.
Surely it must. There's got to be the roots somewhere in there.
Totally.
I mean, I often
Vinny Boy would be fun. We'll get him in there.
But there's the other ones that are often wheeled out whenever somebody wants nerd cred. Like you will see Felicia Day is one of them.
Who's that?
So she made a web series called The Guild, I think it was called, 8 years ago, and she's like she's not even that fit.
Right.
She's not even that fit, but she happens to be a woman that is into
the hobby. Yeah.
So she gets wheeled out whenever, like,
look at this.
Critical Role are doing like a live show or whatever, right? And then the other one is Will Wheaton, who was
Wilsall,
he was basically an extra on Star Trek: The Next Generation. And the other one is Patrick Rothfuss as well, who wrote a series of books called The Kingkiller Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
But it's those three. And those are the ones I would never have on my game, because I don't think they're actually into it.
No.
But I think because they've been in stuff that's nerdy.
They have, we'd have Vinny up there because he seems
definitely
like
Vinny,
I'm
struggling to think of any other. Oh, actually, the guy that played Dwight in The Office.
Oh yeah,
he seems really nice, and he's a D&D player, so that would be cool.
Excellent. Yeah. We'd have Dwight on there then, and
we got to have one more to complete a group.
Just trying to think, because I know it's come up before that someone plays. I'm just trying to think who it is now. Oh, come on.
Boris Johnson.
No, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Well, maybe we'll come back to this if we remember any. But yeah,
because they've got to be gaming celebrities, haven't they? Or what about does it have to be real? Can we just have Diva from
what from Overwatch? I would like that, but I would like that very much. Different reasons.
Play Bubblegum Crisis with her.
Mm-hmm. Yes, please.
And Mercy. Actually, can we just do our fictional characters that we'd like to just game with? Mercy,
you just
Diva.
Want sexy video game characters. Lara Croft, but the old polygonal one from the PS1.
Yeah, that's her.
PS1 Hagrid from the fucking... Have you seen that? Oh, yeah, it's so good. But yeah, Vin Diesel and that guy's name escapes me. Who played Dwight? What was his name?
Dwight from The Office.
Dwight from The Office, whatever.
All
right.
He's in Juno, isn't he?
He's a Jew?
He's in Juno as well.
Right. Yeah.
He works in the shop.
He's a Jew because I won't have that. Not at my table. Ace, he says, do you know of any systems that don't use dice? If so, what did they use? Did them suck? Did them suck?
Did them suck?
I know one called Lords of Olympus that was
coins.
No, it's diceless. From what I know, I haven't bought it because I actually got really disappointed with a lot of RPG Pundit's products. From what I know, you play gods.
Yeah.
And the way it kind of works is that if somebody has a higher score than you, they just win. And you're kind of competing against other players in a lot of ways. Okay. In the same way that old Greek pantheon, there was rivalries and things. Yeah. So the way it works is if you've got a lower score and you want to try something, you can't. You won't win.
There's no chance.
So the idea is that what you've got to do is trying to bring up the bonuses by doing other stuff.
Okay.
So it's a lot of planning and things. So this sounds all right.
Sounds interesting.
I don't know if it would suck. But bear in mind, remember back in the day when D&D first started, that the dice are really hard to get hold of. So people would use dartboards instead or things like this because it's numbered 1 to 20.
And it's random. Well, unless you're good at aiming.
If you want to incur like a bonus or a negative, put a blindfold on, get into it and spin them around, or get them to stand several feet backwards. Just be like, you can get -2 steps on this one, so you have to step back twice.
We just created another great game. Doesn't have dice.
Yeah, no, it does. Despite the name, it does have dice. Should be called does. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, we should make Dart RPG.
I like that.
If something like something role playing thing. So it'd be no. What about was it just called Da role playing thing?
Da role playing,
and it spells out Dart.
There you go.
Yeah,
perfect. We're in. We get back in the lab.
I don't know what setting it would be.
I need to know more. I am absolutely certain, but I've got a funny feeling it might not be a diceless game, but it had a weird initiative mechanic that we've spoken about before.
Well, in a sense though, Fiasco doesn't really use dice.
Not really, no. Not
because they're more as just tokens.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. And
that's a good one. A very good one.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't but I've never played one. Sadly,
no.
I would like to.
We need to know more.
Yeah, we need to know more. So if anyone knows of any, let us know.
Yeah, we'll check them out.
CJ, he says, have you asked Ed Sheeran to play a game of Don't yet? I don't know. Is Ed Sheeran's like the quintessential British celebrity at the moment, isn't he?
I don't know.
I've been near him once.
Have you?
Yeah, because he was playing when I went to Reading Festival, he was playing on the introducing stage before he even had a record deal.
Yeah, I remember it.
And we went past and I was like, who's that bloke? And Millie was like, I heard him on Radio 6 the other day, he's rubbish.
Some mess.
Yeah. King of the Gibbon Moon, continuing the theme of stupid questions, Bogo's Binted or Bingus Chucked?
Oh, Bingus Chucked.
I like Bingus Chucked. Yeah. I don't know what it means, but Judge Matthew says, when are you going to play the Rocky and Bullwinkle RPG? I didn't know that was a thing.
When you send it to us, I guess.
Yeah, buy us a copy because I've never seen Rocky and Bullwinkle.
It's a cartoon, isn't it?
Yeah, I know that
from the 80s. Yeah, I don't know a great deal about it. I'm
sorry about that. That was 3 very disappointing questions there. Ace, he says, give wizards spells, random or chosen, at level up, or make them quest for them.
Ooh, both.
Yeah, both. I think it depends on the length of the game.
Yes.
So because our actual plays, most have been 9 episodes.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
So if you level up, you're just going to get some spells. Because the quest is the adventure is very short in comparison to like a long campaign. So really, I'm just going to give you spells because you don't want to do a mid quest midway through for you to go and get a bloody spell.
A quest for a spell. If it's a big game, that's a lot of fun, yeah.
My brother's just realising that with D&D 5e because he's got all of his spells. You get to pick them when you first start the bloody game. But he's then gone, as he's levelled up, he's like, right, I'm going to pick Fireball. And the GM was just like, oh, no, you got to go and find them, mate.
Oh.
And so it was he was a bit disappointed. Whereas I think Bards just learn them automatically. So I'm quite lucky. I've got all these new spells, smash somebody's glasses. Yeah. But it depends on the flavour. I think if you're playing DCC, it does say that you should really do that, and I think it really works in there. Even if you just run a pre-written module and at the end you find a scroll and a chest.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Because that in the Ravenlord campaign, that's what I did. You leveled up, I rolled randomly for a spell, and then in the chest you found Levitate, and it happened to sort of carry the whole campaign, actually, literally.
Oh, mate. What would we do about that?
My favourite part was when you flew across you sent Butler across the rickety bridge. He nearly died, and you went, nah, I don't fancy that. Levitate. And then just
across. Yeah. Is that when we was giving it to Strahd from across the way?
Yeah, that was funny. Come here within melee range. No, I'm not playing your game, Strahd.
No way.
That was a good campaign. I was trying to gun for the current GM to run Ravenloft.
Oh.
And do you know what he said? He said, he goes, well, what we'll do is we'll run Storm King's Thunder, and then at that point you'll be a decent level to go to Ravenloft, so maybe we'll do it then. And I looked up and people were saying that Storm King's Thunder, that's like level 1 to level 10. Right? Now think about that. Think about the fact that our Pathfinder game that we played for best part of a year,
Yeah.
we got to level 9. Oh. So, and at the moment, we're barely doing anything. So this is good.
Ravenloft's far away.
We might have to kick him out. But yeah, wizard spells chosen or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but to just do whatever suits your campaign.
That's right.
If you're doing that kind of campaign where the players are making their own goals and stuff like this, and it's a sandbox, absolutely make them find them.
Yeah, totally.
But otherwise, yeah, just whatever. Vodrillas, he says, have you ever come across any foreign RPG you wish were translated to English but were sorely disappointed?
I don't know about the disappointment part. I know there's a German game that everyone raves about that's been around for a long time that I'd like to try out.
Augen.
Is that the one?
Yeah, the Black Eye. That has been translated into English.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
But
I'd like to try that out.
Back in the day, that was German only.
Yeah,
that does seem good.
German RPG. Isn't there a Polish one as well?
It probably is. Probably rubbish. And I'm allowed to say that because of my heritage.
The Witcher. Polish bloke.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, originally. And then Mike Pondsmith wrote the RPG for it, so
right, okay.
Probably really fucking good.
Yeah.
There was one Summon Skate. Do you remember that?
What was that one?
So it was a Japanese RPG where you play figure skaters, and you need to figure skate sigils onto the floor to summon demons.
That's right. Yeah.
And the combat was done with a miniature whiteboard where you sketch out the skating route.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, but the thing is, what they did is the company that were translating here, they then put it to Kickstarter, and then obviously it's a very weird idea, so nobody bloody kickstarted it, and we're never getting it. But I would love to play that. I mean, it sounds mental.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
But I mean, you probably fall quite easily into the Aquaman problem, because if there's a problem happening on land, what's he going to do? He's just like, come here within melee range.
Comes to the water's edge.
Yeah. So it's like that same thing. You're like in the ice skating rink, and they're like, somebody's robbing the jewels from the bank in town, and you're like, they got an ice rink in there?
So you can only do it in the Arctic.
Yeah, Arctic. That's for the Apprentice fans. But yeah, fucking I don't know. Yeah, that's one. But a lot of the ones that I think look cool are being translated. And I mean, even
what's the sword one?
Sword World, but that's never got an official translation. Right. I would love to see that, but that
was done quite well.
Yeah, and it was they translated it like a fan did it and did it all online, so it's like a Wikipedia.
That's
so it's still quite convenient to use. But I've still got the book.
So we've got the good stuff. We just got the
I want the dregs.
The disappointed
I want a couple of
dregs.
Yeah,
we want some shite.
Yeah, because we've seen over the years when we've been doing research, like some really weird ones going out of Japan. Yeah. I would like to see.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that would be funny.
That's true.
But yeah, unfortunately, that's the only one. Summon Skate. Tizer Man, he says, how does the Alien stress dice mechanic compare with other Year Zero games you have played? Are they used as elegantly / thematic as the stress mechanic? I feel as if we've really covered that.
We just covered it, yeah. So it's ratcheted right up for this game. You can.
It's a focus, and I think it's used really elegantly.
It is done
really
well.
Pushes that feeling of the Alien film.
And the GM's got it in his back pocket. So basically, there's a whole load of stuff where you can take stress. Like if you see your friend get hurt, you see an alien, you see even if a scientific guy fails a research role, that can give you stress because obviously you're trying to figure out this alien.
Well, because if you're having a bad day, already,
precisely.
Even if you haven't even seen the alien yet, and you get to the ship and you've already just fucked everything up.
Exactly,
your boss is breathing down your neck.
Mate. Yeah, exactly. So no, it's done very well, and I think it's without it, I don't think it'd be the same game.
Well, I've really enjoyed that stress mechanic, and I think it's really well done. I think it really ratchets it up, as you say. So
and I've always liked it in general. I mean, Cthulhu, the expert
Insanity,
original with the insanity dice, and I've always liked that extra mechanic where your mind's kind of that's a separate battle kind of thing.
Yeah, because there's more than one way to fail.
That's right,
and that makes it a lot more fun.
No, it's very good. It's done very well. We've played one session. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Yeah. But yeah, the next we got one final question in here. It says the Batman. He says, "Here's a question. I know you Brits are a little looser than us in the States when it comes to nudity and such, but does the Queen really have platinum jubblies?" And he's included a picture of a commemorative plate made for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, and it just says Platinum Jubilee on it.
Jubilee!
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, in this country, we are a bit. I think it's because of the Carry On film.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, something's come up. Yeah, it's what it's like with the slide whistle.
In your endo.
And also, like, one of my earliest memories of having adult fun times was seeing Barbara Windsor's bloody bikini come off.
Yeah, whipped off by some wind or something. Yeah.
Fantastic stuff.
Do you remember the Confessions of a Window Cleaner films?
I haven't seen them, but I know
Heard
of them.
about them. Yeah. I mean, they're pretty much just soft porn, you know.
Classic stuff. But
always been a bit
what about
raunchy.
that bloke who did the? He was a nudist, and he did a march from Land's End to John O'Groats. So basically, for those that don't know, that's the longest route you
From
can
one end to
possibly
the
take
other country.
in UK. Yeah. So it's Land's End in England, then John O'Groats in Scotland.
Yeah.
And this guy was doing a march, like campaigning for his rights to not wear clothes. He had a backpack on, so I mean, he sort of failed. But he got arrested something like 80 times on the way there. And one of them was really funny because he got put in prison. Put like in a jail cell. Yeah. And they said, right, you can't do this. Just put a prison fatigues on and just walk out.
Yeah.
He got outside the police station, immediately took him off, got arrested straight away. It was like, mate, it can't be that important to you. And he's apparently like somebody
So restrictive.
Well, somebody interviewed his mum, and she was just like, I don't agree with what he's doing, and I wish he'd just come home.
He's always pooed with his clothes off.
Well, it's really weird. And I was thinking, like, it's kind of, on its surface, it's quite innocent.
Yeah.
But then he's probably walking past children.
Well.
So it's like,
It's my right.
cut it out. Yes, it's my right to be a sex criminal if I want to. But yeah, nudity, love it. 10 out of 10.
Jubblies.
Queen's Golden Jubblies. Somebody shared a picture on Reddit of her today that was like, you know, it's a bit weird, but the Queen was well fit back in the day.
Yeah.
She was.
Oh,
No, there was another one that we missed. There's
on.
another question. I swear I put it in here, but yeah. Bargle, and we'll put this as the second question here. He says, Bargle the Infamous, he says, phones, I meant last question.
Oh, yes.
He says, phones at the table, complete ban, or character sheet app use only?
So I read this question. So complete ban, normal default setting. If you are going to use the app like you guys did with Shadowrun, because it's Cyberpunk, so it's quite good. Then that needs to be agreed before, but no phones.
Well, and the thing is, we weren't using it for character sheets. It just so happened that the wiki and the shop and everything on there was so fucking well done.
Yeah, and that's not like, you know, you can't take phone calls if it's important. Obviously, you know, people have loved ones and things like that, and you know, there's no harm having your phone on, say, vibrate in your pocket.
Well, if my wife calls, I'll answer it.
Absolutely.
But if it's like, I never respond to texts at the table.
No, that's right. So yeah, so if a phone call come through, obviously you need to be available. But you know, you're scrolling on your phone all week. You can put it in your pocket for 4 hours.
Exactly.
To game with your mates,
or just do it on the break.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say this. I hope he doesn't listen back, but James is really bad for it. He's really bad for it. Like, and especially since he got a girlfriend, and they always type essays to each other, and it's just like, what are you doing?
What are we doing?
At least now they live together, so it doesn't happen when we're playing at his.
Yeah.
But he's quite bad for it. And I literally, I saw him texting at the table last week, and I texted him, and I was just like, put your fucking phone away.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, no, they're a distraction, and you know, yeah, like I said, you can get your phone in your break, mate. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just
unless you get a super stupid sound out, which does happen.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly regret doing that. I mean, because I had the meme soundboard. That I think is worse than texting at the table. But I got. Do you know what it is? It's like,
what about the plane?
I've got this weird bloody.
It was like 4 hours of a plane just going.
Oh, that was really funny. It was when we had Phil at the game and we were playing a World War II game, and they were on a plane, and he just got. But it was like you could see where it looped because it would just go. And it was the most annoying thing. And my brother was like, "Can you turn that off?" But the meme soundboard, right?
Yeah.
I've got this thing in me, and I don't know what it is, but it's like there's always this urge to be mischievous at all times, and I wish I didn't have it, because even when it got to the point where I said I was annoying myself because I was like, I can't stop doing this. I need to just put my phone somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's So I would say no phones at the table. But I don't think the thing is, as an adult, asking another adult not to do something is a bit of an awkward thing to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it's just a bit of respect as well, really. I mean, you know, we've been gaming for 6 years now, is it? Nearly 7 years now. So we've been gaming together for years, and no one's had to like really be told off or anything. So,
no,
you know, everyone just knows that, you know, no, unless it's super important, what do you need your phone for?
Yes,
you should be too busy doing what you're doing, having fun.
Well, the only person is James, but we've never had to have like proper words. Can you please fucking stop that? But there was one session where his character was questing in because he was a paladin and he'd been called up to heaven to complete a test to ascend to the next level of godhood, basically. And he was just on his phone. I'm James. This quest is all about you. Can you just put the fucking phone down? Do you remember that? Yeah. But anyway, but people do it, and my wife is going. Yeah, all right. I see that you're not going to go, but see you later.
What the fuck did you just fucking say about me? You little bitch. I'll have you know, I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs.
So yeah, phones,
eh?
Yeah, sorry about that. There was a little edit there because my wife was leaving with me. Good, basically. Yeah, I mean, things have not been going well. And her special friend Jerome's been around a lot.
He's just picking her up.
Is it?
That's him outside.
Why is he so sweaty whenever I come back home? Oh, they're probably doing Pilates.
Yeah,
Pilates. Yeah.
High intensity workout.
So let's do an outro.
Ooh.
Outro. My favourite. It's that gnome noise. I used that as a jingle in the last podcast. It's like the short. It's less than a second. So it's like us talking, and then just in the middle it goes. But did you see the picture I put at the end of the?
I did.
Yeah,
very good.
Got a man with a samurai sword in a suit severing some phone wires.
Two phones.
So all of the questions this time were submitted on our Discord. There's a link in the description, so go ahead and join up.
Yep.
A lot of new people in there.
Everyone's welcome,
which is good. So if you want to do that, and if you want to email us, 3trpgpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
Do you feel as if this was an episode?
I believe that this has become an episode.
I feel to an extent we've made a sound.
Yeah, we have made a sound in a formation in which it is tangible for a brain.
And that is all we can do. That's the best we can do.
That's the best you're getting out of us.
We did have an idea for a segment, actually.
Yeah.
Ace said it was like... get that AI art generating thing.
Yes.
Generate art based on game names, and you have to figure out which one it is.
Oh,
I think that'd be really fun.
I love it.
I
want to fuck about that.
I didn't have the time because my son was being a bloody arse last night.
We'll do that next time.
Yep. Well, I've been Harrison Hunt.
I've been Nick Ramslice.
And remember that D20s are cool, but 20Ds, now that's a xenomorph.
Oh, jubblies.
Goodbye.